About to get underway from Tropicana Field, so with that, we send it out to the guys calling today's game, Gary Thorne and Brian Anderson.
Brian, thanks very much. And here we are at the Trop in St. Pete, home of the Rays, who picked up a win in the opener of this three-game set last night. It's the Orioles looking for a division title against the Tampa Bay Rays, playing this part of the spoiler. With Brian Anderson, I'm Gary Thorne. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us. For the Orioles, a big chance. They've got the big lead in the American League East. Opportunity to win a division title. If they are going to do it, Brian, it will be because of the long ball.
Absolutely. The most powerful team in baseball, and it's not even close. They lead Major League Baseball with 185 home runs. You can see what they've done with the bases juiced, big damage, and, of course, the slugging percentage. Now let's take a look at the big reason why. The three principals right here, Cruz, Davis, and Jones, are leading the way. Big home run numbers, big production numbers, and that has led them to a 9.5-game lead in the American League East, looking for a title for the first time in 17 years.
One of the problems when you rely on the long ball as much as the Orioles do, and it's 49% of the runs that they've scored this year, you come up against good pitching like Alex Cobb last night. The Orioles were shut out in a 3-0 ball game, and it doesn't get any easier today.
It absolutely does not. They will have their work cut out for them against Drew Smyly. Since coming over to the Rays, 6 starts, a 3-1 record, 1.73 earned run average. Where it gets interesting, 41 2/3 innings with the Rays. He's given up just 3 home runs. This is a very intriguing matchup.
So you've got the offense of the Orioles and all that power going up against a really good young starting pitcher. Here at the Trop today, it's power against pitching. Let's see which one is going to prevail. Can the Orioles cut down that magic number? Coming into today for the Orioles, that number is 14. This is what, 80s day?
80s day. Trop? This is my day.
What
this could not have worked out any better. Rocking out to Hair Nation on the way in. Those guys.
I got a feeling they may not be sitting that close to the dugout by the time the end of the game rolls around. There is Buck Showalter trying to get to a division title first. as the Orioles here in this final month are down to their final 22 games left to go. They have an 11-6 record against Tampa Bay this year, including a 5-2 mark here at the Trop. On the other side, the Trop for Joe Maddon's ball club has not been the friendly confines that they would like it to be.
No, not at all. And, you know, when you ask Joe Maddon about it, he really does not have an answer. For a guy that is so open, an open book, when you ask him a question, he said, I cannot wrap my head around why we've played so poorly at home, but that's the case.
They are a team that's 32-41 at home, 36-33 on the road. They are the only team that's got that kind of a matchup home and road record that's got an overall losing record, which again is kind of inexplicable.
Yeah, and it's been just one of those seasons. I mean, this is a team that the pitching for the most part has been tremendous. They give themselves opportunities to score. They've not always been able to cash in, and it has led to a very frustrating season.
So for the Orioles, they get set to go. You look at Steve Pearce there. He's getting back into the lineup after an ab strain had kept him out. He's been a vital part of this ball club this season. This team, Tampa Bay, has gone through more than its share of injuries as well this year. So their lineup, which is not unusual under Joe Maddon, has gone back and forth as far as who's where. Smiley coming in. There he is in the dugout getting ready to start.
Well, when nature calls, Gary.
Even in baseball?
It does.
Oh,
from
my
time to
gosh.
time.
I cannot believe that.
Slight delay.
Apparently we're all set. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Orioles that Smiley's going to face today. It will be Markakis, Pierce, and Jones, Cruz, Davis, and Young, Hundley, Flaherty, Jonathan Scope. The Orioles starting lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live miles.
Well, and Drew Smiley here taking the mound for the Rays. I'll tell you, he came over in that deadline deal, the David Price trade. You didn't know quite what you were going to get out of Drew. These are the season numbers. With the Rays, obviously much better. The 9-10 record, 3.31 earned run average. But we have seen a pitcher for the Rays that has been just off the charts. 41 2/3 innings. We talked about just the 3 home runs given up, only given up 21 hits.
Here's the defensive alignment for the Rays with Joyce, Kiermaier, and Myers in the outfield. Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, who actually started in center field in the ball game last night for only the second time this year. He's back to second. James Loney over there at first. Casilla is going to do the catching in the ball game, and the Orioles will try and score a run. They were shut out last night by Tampa Bay 3-0. Tampa Bay out hit the Orioles 8-6 in the ball game. Alex Cobb got the win, pitching 7 innings of no runs, 6-hit baseball, and then Boxberger and McGee came on to finish it up. The left-hander Wei-Yin Chen took the loss Webb rather took the loss in the ball game. Boxberger got the win in relief, and McGee got the save. So Smiley ready to go. Nick Markakis has not had any success against Smiley. He's got an 0 for 10 against him coming into the ball game. Smiley has pitched against the Orioles this season to a 2-0 record. Lifetime, he's 2-0 with a save against the Orioles. Markakis jumping on the first pitch, and we're underway.
Well, for Drew Smiley, he's going to try and work all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. You'll see him drive that fastball downhill. You'll see him elevate the fastball to go along with a curve and a little cutter. And he will mix his pitches and just move it around, try to frustrate hitters. That's his game.
And the pitch will be taken inside. The left-handers have always struggled against Smiley, and they certainly have done that again this year. Left-handers hitting only 166 off Smiley. The right-handers at 269. So as you would expect, Showalter trying to get power right-handers into this lineup against this lefty. The Orioles have had a dramatic improvement from last season to this season against the left-handed starters. It was kind of a struggle last season for the Orioles against left-handers. They've improved on that, getting 4 or 5 games above 500 against lefties on the year. That'll be foul back off the catcher, and the count will go to 2-2.
And that's one of those things that every year, every season, whether you're a player or an organization, you look at where can we improve? Where, are we susceptible? What are our weaknesses? How do we make that better? And as you mentioned, they have shored up that area.
Orioles 21-17 against left-handed starters this year. Smiley hits the outside corner. Markakis turns to the heavens, and a strikeout.
Here you take a look at it right here, a little cutter that he keeps on the same plane, and he takes it right to the outside corner for a called third strike. You will see him throw that pitch and keep it same plane. You'll see him also get some depth with that pitch to the point you'll think it's a slider. Here are your 4 keys to the game. Baltimore, it's power surge. They hit a home run. They're 70-29. A multi-home run game, which they've done a major league leading 54 times. They're 43-11. So get the ball out of the yard. They win games. And as you saw for the Rays, it's take advantage of opportunities. This team is 5th in the American League in at-bats with runners in scoring position, but dead last in runs scored.
They have left more runners on than any other team, and we'll see lots of this. These are the 2 shiftiest teams in the majors, as they love to move players around. So the shift put on here, and Pierce will take the pitch for a strike. Steve Pierce getting back into the lineup for the Orioles. He is considered a bench player, but because of Orioles injuries this season, he has been a major component of the offense. He's played some outfield. He's playing at first base a good deal now because Manny Machado, the Orioles third baseman, is out. So Chris Davis, the regular first baseman, has moved to third. Pierce ends up playing at first. He's played defensively really well and has provided power. Foul tipped into the mitt for a strike, and the count goes full 3-2.
Well, here's the fastball. Drew Smiley going up in the zone trying to crowd Steve Pierce, able to get that by him and get down here to a full count delivery.
Smiley just 25 years old. Delivery on the way and just missed.
And I mean just. Boy, good pitch there by Drew Smiley. Better take by Steve Pierce. And I think this was more of a, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do with that pitch, so I'm going to take it. Hope that it's a ball. Drew Smiley, you can see him walking off. He thinks that he got it. No go.
No go. Be interesting. Home plate umpire is a veteran, Jerry Davis, and in his history calling balls and strikes, Davis has always given the benefit to the hitters. He's one of the most pronounced umpires when you get the close call that the hitters generally get it. So we'll see if that holds up. And that's important, obviously, with Smiley, who works everything so close to the corners. Here's Adam Jones, and a swing and a miss in the off-speed delivery. Adam comes in with a 4-game hit streak. There they are. Jerry Davis is the crew chief. Greg Gibson, Phil Cousy, and Will Little, the umpiring crew for this series. 0-1 count. Runner off first base. Pierce, swing and a miss. There's what you were talking about, Brian. Quadrants.
That's it. You know, down and away, then up and in. He just moves the ball around, and you've seen more of this since coming over to the Rays. The elevated fastball, and he is doing that by design.
Jones had a 2 for 3 in the opener last night. Pierce, not a base stealer, being held by Loney. 0-2 the count. Jones will foul that one away.
We're just constantly changing speeds, changing eye levels. You know, you mentioned about Drew Smiley working the edges. He doesn't have the kind of stuff that he can pitch right out over the plate with unless he elevates it, and you'll see that from time to time. Other than that, you're right. He is playing with those edges and needs those calls.
Adam Jones stepping out, wanting to slow Smiley down here early in the ball game. Jones, Markakis, leading hit producers for the Orioles, both now with 163 on the year, and that places them in a tie for 6th in the American League. Jose Altuve with Houston, a great year, closing in on 200 hits at 196. Smiley with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. That'll go towards second. Zobrist big hop 1. Relay to first will not be in time. Way off the mark. We'll see it coming over to back it up. Will hold Jones at first base. Pretty good takeout slide. Zobrist.
Absolutely, and that's Steve Pierce. That's how he plays the game. That's why he's a Buck Showalter guy. You see him going hard into Zobrist, forcing the bad throw, but a nice job by Kurt Casale in backing that play up. Look at Pierce. Clean, but aggressive.
Play to get the out at second base. Sally all the way down the line, making sure Jones was not going to be able to move up. Well, there's the American League's leading home run hitter. Cruz with 37, now one ahead of Chris Carter with Houston. He is 2 for 10 lifetime off Smiley, as Cruz tries to take a home run crown the same way Chris Davis did with the Orioles last year. Little lob toss over.
What's amazing about his numbers, the 37 home runs, the 93 runs driven in, already career highs, and plenty of baseball left. 3 more weeks.
Yep. He'll tap that one right back to the mound off the end of the bat. Smiley's throw is there in time. So Drew Smiley starts out with just a walk in the inning, a runner left on. When we come back, we'll look at the Tampa Bay lineup. Taco Bell, sometimes you got to live más. Zobrist to Jesus and Longoria, Lodi, Myers and Joyce, Escobar, Kiermaier, Casali. And there's the Orioles' young starter, Kevin Gausman.
And making his 17th start of the season. And for Kevin, it is all about command. He has very good stuff. And if he's able to pitch ahead in the count, that will lead to success. If he's behind, hitters have had the tendency, the Rays being one of those teams, to force him out over the plate. And when you do that, the pitches start to flatten out a bit. He becomes a little bit more predictable, and you can have success off of him.
Orioles defense, which overall is ranked second in the league, will look like this with Cruz, Jones, and Markakis in the outfield. As we said, Davis, normally a first baseman, with the injury to Machado, goes to third. Ryan Flaherty goes to short. Hardy's out today. We'll talk about that. Scope and Pierce, and Nick Hundley doing the catching. He and Caleb Joseph share the catching duties now for the Orioles. Tampa Bay, here's Zobrist leading it off. Zobrist, 6 for 10 lifetime off Kevin Gausman. Good numbers. And he's got a 3-game hit streak coming into this ball game. 23-year-old delivers, and the fastball will miss for a ball. Desmond Jennings, bad left knee, missing his 9th straight game. Normally would be the leadoff batter for this ball club. 1-0 pitch by Gausman. Zobrist will take that 2-0.
Right around the All-Star break, Desmond Jennings had a start where he fouled a pitch from Mark Burley off of that knee, and that's what has led to these issues, and just has gotten to the point with his bone bruise, just not able to tolerate it. And so the Rays missing him in that lineup and out in center field.
And he had a hot bat when he went out. That one is there for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1.
And he's one of those guys that really can change the dynamic for the Rays out of that leadoff spot with his stolen base ability, good speed, first to third, working at bats, like you said. If he's hot and getting on base, good things will happen.
Pitch is being taken here. Zobrist tries to work his way on, and the count goes to 3-1.
And so Ben Zobrist, one of those hitters, tremendous strike zone discipline. He will force Kevin Gausman to throw strikes. There's no doubt.
3-ball, 1 strike count here. Defense straight away on him. Zobrist will chop that one off the mask of Hundley. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count. The Rays come in ranked 11th in average, but 15th in runs. They are now last in the American League, averaging 3.9 runs a ball game. They live off their starting pitching. They are 3rd in ERA, as overall 2nd in starter ERA. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that one will be popped up and back and out of play.
And I think the most frustrating thing for Joe Maddon is not because a lack of opportunities. We hit on this a little bit, those keys. They're 5th in the American League with at-bats with runners in scoring position. So the opportunities have been there, but they've not been able to cash in. You go right to the bottom and runs scored. And, Joe said the other day, listen, we are absolutely wasting a tremendous amount of great pitching.
And boy, in the majors, you hate to do that. There you see what we were talking about with Jerry Davis. Close pitches, they're going to go probably in the hitter's favor, and both teams know that. So Zobrist gets a leadoff walk here in the 1st inning. And that'll bring David DeJesus to the plate. Now, when you're not scoring runs and you're last in the league, do you think about manufacturing even in the 1st inning?
Absolutely. Now, I don't know if the Rays will do it in this case because they've had some success off Kevin Gausman his last couple of starts out there. But certainly you have to look to do that at some point, and that's something that Joe Maddon has done a little bit more of this year.
Chris Davis is going to play in at 3rd base. He is looking for the bunt from DeJesus. Does not show it, and take it on the inside corner for a strike. There's the defensive alignment here, and a long look down to 3rd base by DeJesus, even if only to get the Orioles thinking about what might happen here, i.e. the bunt. DeJesus does not have a sacrifice this year. Has missed time, only his 68th game, under 200 at bats. And that one is going to skip, and right now Kevin Gausman struggling a bit with the strike zone as it goes to 1-1.
And that, really that is what holds Kevin Gausman back, because he has very good stuff. The fastball, good changeup, a slider, and when he's able to pitch ahead in the count, he'll have success. But what he has struggled with is command, and when he falls behind, he's almost at 80% fastball, so he becomes very predictable.
1-ball, 1-strike count. Not a big lead for Zobrist at 1st base. Runner not going, and he throttles back on that one and gets the swinging strike.
And I'm going to tell you something, that right there is a tremendous pitch because of the arm speed. Kevin Gausman really sells out, and you see the finish on that pitch. A good enough pitch, you can throw it out over the plate.
Count goes to 1-2 in this day and age, where we often talk about the fact there's no such thing as a fastball count anymore. You see off-speed breaking balls, change-ups, just about any point of a ball game and any time in a count. DeJesus waiting on it. Here's the 1-2 from Gausman, and that's going to be in the dirt. Did he go? Yep, went around. He's not going to like that call. Will Little, 3rd base umpire, punches him out.
Absolutely. Another off-speed delivery right there. Change up down, and David DeJesus a little bit too far. Nice job by Nick Hundley to be able to handle that pitch. Take a look at it from the side. You see that going down. Watch the head of that bat. Not in time.
So Gausman will get the strikeout. I watched that thing. I had a conversation with one of the replay officials. They said, it's probably going to be expanded next year, replays. I said, well, what area? And he said, well, maybe on the check swings. I was like, no, for the love of heaven. Don't do that. If we have replays on check swings, the games are going to be 18 hours long.
Yeah, right. And that's one of those things that they're going to be looked to scale back a little bit, set a better pace.
Yeah. You
start looking at every check swing, and you're right. We'll be here all day.
You got no chance. So I hope that doesn't happen. Here's Evan Longoria. Longoria had a 2-for-4 in the ball game last night. He's got a 3-game hit streak. 0-1 count. Runner off 1st base. Good pitch. That one at the knees on the outside corner.
Well, you look right there. Evan Longoria, he said at the All-Star break, there's nothing I can do about my batting average, but I can try to be more productive. And as you saw right there, since the break, he has been driving in runs at a much better clip.
Leader on this ball club in every way. 0-2 delivery, had a reach to protect, and will foul that one off. Count will stay at 2 strikes. He's a nemesis for a lot of teams, and he certainly has been over his career for the Orioles. Carries a .274 lifetime batting average against the Orioles, 23 career home runs. These teams, of course, play each other 19 times in the division, so you get a lot of chances. Zobrist, the lead at first base. Here's the 0-2 delivery to him, and a great pitch down and away.
Boy, a change of speed after a couple of fastballs in the mid-90s. Gausman's going to go with another changeup. You see how he splits those fingers, takes about 10 miles an hour off, and Evan Longoria way out in front.
All pitchers, Brian, and you were there. You're looking for what you got on any given day, right? That may be what he's got right now.
That's absolutely right. You want to come out of that, out of your bullpen session with all 3 or 4 pitches, whatever you have working. But if not, you've got to make do with what you have and hope the other pitches come around.
So James Loney will stand in. Loney, a couple of hits and 10 at-bats in his career off the Orioles right-hander. Zobrist, who got the leadoff walk, still over there at first base. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Talking about the importance of the strike as Brian was for Gausman, if the count starts with a ball, opponents hit .299 against him. If it starts with a strike, 200.
Enough said.
I mean, that's about as substantial a difference as you're going to see. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and that'll be fouled into the screen. So Kevin Gausman again getting ahead of your 0-2.
Yeah, and that speaks to command. And we talk about you want to come out before your warm-up session or after your warm-up session with all of your pitches working. The one thing you had better come out with every time is command of whatever it is that you have, and how important that is for Gausman or any other pitcher. Because if you're able to work ahead, then you start to expand that zone.
Yeah. Yep. 0-2 count, 2 downs. Zobrist hanging around first, ball put up in the air, right center field. Markakis Jones, and Jones, the traffic cop, puts it away. And a little late call. So a leadoff walk, but Tampa Bay could do nothing with it. Zobrist is left, no score after 1. Live Mod. Summer day, as you would expect here in St. Petersburg, Florida. As we get set to go, of course, in the always comfortable 72-degree weather inside. There you see the big shift put on Chris Davis.
And out there, you're going to get Ben Zobrist.
He got that one down the line in right field. It is deep, and goodbye, home run. Chris Davis, who was not in the original lineup today, but wanted to play, delivers a home run in his first at-bat. And the Orioles take the 1-0 lead.
He had a feeling. He must have had a feeling. I'll tell you what, Chris Davis, this is a guy that can get hot down the stretch for the Orioles. We saw the damage that he could do last year. 53 home runs, leading Major League Baseball, and wasting no time here.
Sunflower seeds all around. And the Orioles get on top with his 26th home run of the season and his second lifetime off Smiley. That one's going to go into left field. Delman Young, the former Ray, delivers on a pitch that stayed up.
Absolutely. That was a curveball that just kind of hung out over the plate. A nice job by Delman Young. Let's go back to that home run by Chris Davis. There's a delivery by Smiley, and it just never gets far enough away. And Chris Davis, so strong, he's able to go down there and barrel something up. It's going to go.
That is only the 4th home run by a left-hander against Smiley this year. And Chris Davis has 2. The only 2 hits he has off Smiley are home runs. As came into the ball game with the 1 for 8, now 2 for 9. And the Orioles with Delman Young on at first base will get Nick Hundley to the plate. Hundley's got a 7-game hit streak, coming over from San Diego in a deal after Matt Wieters, their all-star catcher, was injured. Goes against the shift. They'd moved everybody over on the left side. He instead went to the right side of second base for a single.
Well, there you go. You see the defense right here for the Rays lined up, a little picket fence on the left side, and then watch Hundley beat that by just going right back up the middle with that soft delivery by Drew Smiley. And you got to be impressed with the approach of these Oriole hitters off of Smiley right now. They're sitting back, keeping their hands back, being patient. Had some good swings here in the second inning.
Ryan Flaherty gets the RBI opportunity. Flaherty getting the start at shortstop. J.J. Hardy, their Gold Glove shortstop, not playing in the ball game. He's had some back spasms. Here's the attempted bunt. Flaherty takes it for a ball, and it has to be concerned to the Orioles that Hardy's now, in the last time in a couple of weeks, has had to come out for 2 or 3 ball games.
Yeah, I mean, this team, Baltimore Orioles, one of the best defensive teams in all of baseball. They catch it. He's as solid a shortstop as you're going to find. He makes all the plays, just a solid, unassuming shortstop, and the Orioles are going to need him out there. There's no doubt.
Flaherty squares around, drops it down to third. Play at second base, and they got it. Good heads-up play right there as Longoria decided, I got a chance to get that runner at second, and he did.
That's something that the Rays really practice a lot, is their bunt defense. And with Hundley running, they obviously were going to target him if Evan Longoria could get to that bunt in time, which he does. His immediate look, he doesn't waste any time, right out to Escobar and cutting down Hundley at second.
So that will put runners on the corners, first and third. Davis with a home run to lead it off. Couple of singles by Young and Hundley, and now Jonathan Scope, the young rookie second baseman, also with power. There's Young, the lead runner. Flaherty over at first base, reaching on the fielder's choice. Smiley with one away, looking for the ground ball double play. Scope will take it for a strike.
He's been able to induce 11 of those this year, but you do not nap on Jonathan Scope. You mentioned his power. He is one of those hitters lurking down in that 9-hole that can hurt you.
258 with runners in scoring position this season for the second baseman. Pitch will be inside. The Orioles overall this year, 272 as a team with runners in scoring position. That's second best in the American League. They had an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night where they were shut out 3-0. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to Scope, and he couldn't hold up on it. 1-2.
Off-speed delivery right there. There will be times where Drew Smiley, that pitch right there will look like a changeup down in the zone. He'll throw cutters down in the zone. When he gets on top of it, that will look like a changeup. Regardless, they're not easy to deal with.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. Scope will foul it off. Jonathan Scope, coming off a very fine month of August, has continued it here in September. He's hitting .313 this month. 3 home runs, 5 RBIs in the 5 games that have been played. So real solid numbers for Scope, who continues to develop into what the Orioles hope will be a core member of the team for the long term. And a swing and a miss. Smiley went upstairs on him.
Once you get to 2 strikes in that situation, you're looking to go for the strikeout. And Smiley was able to lull him to sleep with the off-speed down, and then guess what? Climb the ladder with that fastball right out over the plate, let her high. You can't catch it.
That will bring up Nick Markakis. 2 down. Runners on at first and third for the Orioles. 1-0 lead on the Chris Davis home run. Markakis fouls that one right back. That's one he wanted.
Yeah, hitters will tell you, sometimes you go up there, you're going to get one pitch to hit. You got to capitalize, take advantage, and that was a fastball right down the middle.
Nick Markakis, 242 with runners in scoring position this season, taking over the leadoff spot for the Orioles this year, where he has hit extremely well. Delman Young at third base. Ryan Flaherty at first for the Orioles. There's the off-speed pitch. Boy, that jelly-legged him.
Yep, that's what you leave yourself open to. You missed the fastball down the middle. Now Drew Smiley can go to a number of different options. That one happens to be a curveball right on the outside corner, and now he's got the jump in the count.
Smiley with 127 strikeouts in 147 innings. And that one will be fouled away by Markakis.
And you could see right there when Kurt Casale was given the sign for that pitch, he was calling fastball and then giving those fingers. I want it up. I want it up. You can see him even in his crouch coming up there. So they're trying to climb the ladder against these Oriole hitters. They know they want to swing the bat.
Markakis tied for 5th in multi-hit games in the American League. He's got an RBI chance here. 0-2 count, 2 down. Smiley's delivery hit the first base. Lodi will take it to the bag, and that's it. The Orioles pick up a run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 are left. The run coming. Davis, first pitch seen by him in the ballgame, his 26th home run of the season, his 2nd off Smiley. By your next truck, Ford F-150. Gary Thorne, Brian Anderson. We are joined by Ken Rosenthal, and let's bring Kenny in here to talk about pitching. Ken.
Gary, you can't rule out Kevin Gausman for the Orioles postseason rotation. Buck Showalter telling me yesterday, none of the Orioles starters is on an innings restriction. They can all pitch, quote, as long as the season will let us, unquote. Now, the obvious comparison here is to Michael Wacha. Same draft 2012, Gausman went 4th, Wacha went 19th. If he can be the same kind of difference maker, Gausman, well, then the Orioles will really have something.
And Ken, they really are looking to Gausman, if not this year, certainly in the future, to be one of their leading starters.
And you can understand why when you see the stuff. The fastball in the mid-90s, the really good changeup, and that slider can be tough.
And that one foul tipped into the mitt, held on to as Myers bats here in the second inning, with the Orioles leading it by a score of 1-0. Will Myers, their right fielder, had a 2 for 4 in the ball game last night against Gausman, a hit in just 3 at bats against him. Fastball up high for Kevin Gausman against these Rays. 5 appearances, 4 as a starter prior to this one. His record is 1-3. His ERA against Tampa Bay is very high, 6.5. Here at the Trop, he's gone 1-1, ERA 6.3. And that pitch is going to miss down low.
Oh, and his outings against the Rays this year, he's averaging over 19 pitches an inning. They are forcing him to work very hard. It goes back to that command issue for Kevin Gausman, because you can see here in the early going, the stuff, the pure stuff, is outstanding.
2-ball, 1-strike delivery on the way to Myers. That'll be an outside corner strike at the knees. And we'll even it up at 2-2. Where does Myers fit in here long term with Tampa Bay?
Well, I think that they're looking at him to be a middle of the lineup power guy to go along with Evan Longoria, 2 right-handed hitters that can hit big time home run numbers, RBI numbers. Been a little bit too much of that, though.
So the strikeout recorded by Gausman. Let's go to Ryan Field in our studio for a game break. You believe that?
No.
4 in the first. Mercy.
Quick starts.
I'm telling you.
Quick starts.
One away here. Gausman delivers to Joyce. Matt Joyce. These 2 involved in the deal.
Wow, that was a big deal for the Rays to part ways with David Price. Drew Smyly comes back over, and the way that he's thrown for the Rays, you wonder if David Price couldn't have done any better than that.
And long term?
And long term, he's 25 years old, under control for the Rays for a long time, and that's what they wanted. They wanted some major league ready talent to be able to come in and contribute at what at that point was a long shot to make the playoffs, but that was the idea, and he certainly has done his fair share.
Matt Joyce at the plate, 1 down, nobody on. Waiting on deck is Escobar. Joyce came in late in the ball game last night, ended up just 1 at bat, had an 0 for 1. He will foul that one straight back. He is number 1 on this Tampa ball club in on base percentage at .358. He and Zobrist 1 and 2 in that department. Joe Maddon's team. There you have an official scorecard right there for the skipper.
Yeah, and don't try to figure out what's on that, the other side or the back. Good luck.
1-2 deliveries, a comebacker. Gausman's got it. He'll run it halfway over. Makes the flip to Pierce.
I'll tell you what, too. You talk about that quick start for the Giants in Detroit and the things that are going on. You know, this time of year, teams are desperate. Teams that are vying for a playoff spot. Teams that are trying to close out a division like the Orioles are. And do not discount, Kevin Gausman getting an opportunity to pitch in pennant stretch run baseball. Yep. That is so highly valuable.
He gets a couple of outs here in the second inning. Here is Escobar. Escobar, the shortstop, has really put early numbers up against Gausman. He's 5 for 7 against the Orioles starter. 2 down, nobody on. Escobar and a check. It is in there for a strike.
Kevin Gausman working free and easy here in the early going. That ball is really jumping out of his hand. Good late life on it.
That pitch will be away. For Gausman, it is his 22nd career Major League start. The Orioles first round 4th overall selection 2012 out of Louisiana State University, and the first player in that draft to make it to the major leagues. 1-1 pitch on the way. That'll go down the line in right field. Marquez will give chase. It is a fair ball. Hops off the top of the wall. It's in play. Escobar will continue his run against Gausman. 6 for 8. He gets a double with 2 out.
Sometimes there are guys you just see the ball off of a little bit better, and you see right there Escobar able to reach out there only because that pitch had a little elevation to it. If it's down and away, you're not getting that kind of contact, but a little bit up, and he's able to lace it down the right field corner and give the Rays a scoring opportunity here with 2 out in the second inning.
Here's what we were talking about earlier, Brian. It's they get them on. Can you get them in?
That's it. That's the name of the game. Get them on, get them over. Bottom line is, though, you've got to get them in or it's all for naught.
They were 2 for 11. The Rays were in the ballgame last night with runners in scoring position. Here's their first chance today. And the pitch will be taken down low. Kiermaier getting a start in center field in this ballgame. Overall, for the Rays, their .246 batting average as a team with runners in scoring position ranks 11th in the American League. And as we mentioned earlier, they have left more runners on base than any other team in the majors. 1,056. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball towards second base. Jonathan Scopes got that one.
1,057.
Thank you so much. Your math, I don't know where that degree came from, but I'm telling you, that's unbelievable. All right, home run by Davis. Orioles up. Will return to St. Petersburg after a word from your local Fox station. Excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2014 postseason beginning September 30th. And you thought I was talking about going to the top of that bridge?
I did. I absolutely did. I've been up to the top of that, and it can be, gets a little dicey up there. If it's...
I'm always in a hurry to start down the other side, no matter which way I'm going.
No doubt.
Here is Steve Pearce. Orioles have a 1-0 lead, third inning. Smiley Surrender to walk to Pierce his first time up. He will take that one for a strike.
You talk about the shift again. The Rays once again on the left side move everybody over. Well, this has become the norm.
Longoria let it go, and it's foul. Oh, did he get a bounce for his favor on that one? Just before it would have gone over the bag.
What a heads-up play. Evan Longoria realizing that he didn't have a play. And I'll tell you what, you look at that angle right there, and you see chalk just off the front. I mean, that is as close as you can get. Bouncing right in front of the bag. Oh, might have clipped the bag.
Wow.
Which obviously would have made that a fair ball, but oof.
Right there.
Genius.
Genius. Once it gets by, get by the bag, it was a foul ball. Call Will Little, third base umpire. That one's a little bit short. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is a cutoff man.
You probably never threw a pitch like that in your career, though, but I'm sure you can understand how it might happen to others.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Smiley's delivery out in front of that one. That'll go to center, way up into the catwalks on the white roof, and you better keep your eye on it. Kiermaier did.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. You talk about that roof, Gary, that, you know, the baseball's obviously being rubbed up a little bit off-white. Same thing with that roof. And if you do not keep your eye on it, if you for some reason have to turn back around and find it, it can be very tough on outfielders. And we've even seen infielders having trouble with this roof.
Buck Showalter's theory playing here, he told me, was always have 3 players going after every ball hit in the air. And he was serious. He said, I want 3 guys trying to get there to help out in case somebody doesn't see it. Here's Adam Jones, and a swing and a miss on a turnover pitch away.
Buck Showalter, one of those managers that leaves nothing to chance, and it doesn't surprise in the least bit that he would have thought about that. And it's actually a great way to go about it, because you're right, it can be so tough. And if you got your guys hustling there, someone makes a play, if for some reason it goes wrong, there's someone right there to pick it up and maybe keep a guy from advancing.
Boy, Smiley is really working Jones. And a little screwball away, then comes back up.
Now, he wanted this pitch in, but still up middle of the plate, still very effective. They know that Adam Jones wants to swing the bat. Just 19 walks on the season. One of the most aggressive hitters you will find, and they're trying to take advantage.
Jones right up there again, and he gets him. Smiley looks like he's settling in. 2 down. Let's check in again with Ken Rosenthal. Ken?
Well, guys, it's really interesting. Smiley has definitely benefited from the Rays' advanced approach to analytics. When he joined the team, some club officials pulled him aside and said, hey, we've noticed some things in the numbers about some of your strengths. And one of them, Brian pointed this out early, and we've seen it today, the elevated fastball. They wanted him to use it more. Also, his 2-strike approach to right-handed hitters. They thought he was good at getting to 2 strikes, but not so good at finishing it off. Smiley took all of this in, made the adjustments, and he said those suggestions definitely helped him.
Sure looks like it to the Orioles right now.
You're right, and you mentioned settling in. That's exactly what he's doing. And here he is again, right-handed hitter, getting to 2 strikes quickly. Fastball, then off speed, cruise out in front. See if he can put him away.
Walk and 3 strikeouts so far for Smiley. Cruz grounded out in his first at bat. League's home run leader. Take the pitch up high.
That's one of those pitches, too, that can still be effective. That fastball up and in an 0-2 count. You change eye level, you show the hitter something close to him, you can come right back away and soft here.
Here's the 1-2 delivered. And a skip to the backstop. Now goes 2-2.
That's where the execution part comes in. You can have the right idea, you got to be able to execute.
You still have to do it. That way you're saying?
That's right.
Okay.
It's not just all.
It's not just the thought.
Not the thought.
Not the thought.
Right, it's got to translate.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Same thing my wife says. And the pitch on the way. That'll be popped up. Second base. Zobrist is there. And there's the first clean inning for Smiley in the game. The Davis home run in the second. The only one on the board. Bay Rays shut out the Orioles 3-0 and led by Alex Cobb, who had no runs, 6 hits, and 7 innings for his line with a walk and 6 strikeouts in the ball game. An excellent night, non-decision, but his team won. And Alex joins us here today. Alex, thanks very much. Congratulations on the performance last night. And I wanted to ask you, I mean, you're with a ball club. You know not a lot of runs are going to be scored in a game. It's just the way the year has gone. Does it affect how you approach a game?
No, not really. I mean, I think you can take a poll across the league, and you can ask a pitcher if he's willing to give up any runs in any type of inning, and you're going to say no. So, you know, my ultimate goal is to be perfect every inning, and that's not going to waver whether I have runs or don't have runs.
Well, Alex, you've been on quite a run. 2 earned runs or fewer in 11 straight starts. What would you attribute, the single thing that you would attribute your growth as a starting pitcher in the Major League Baseballs to?
I think the biggest thing, and that's even come about this second half of the season, is learning how to pitch without my best stuff. You know, and I think that takes place mostly in staying aggressive throughout the course of the game, not letting up a little bit or try to be too perfect just because your stuff isn't as sharp as it usually has been. You know, you can be still very effective in the zone, letting the guys put the ball in play, letting your defense work, even if you don't have your best stuff, and getting a lot of swings and misses. So that's been my biggest goal this year, is having the same type of mindset aggressively with my stuff and without it. So that's been a big growth moment for me.
Yeah, and I would have to say probably composure on top of that, the way he's getting pelted with those seeds.
Exactly.
Not missing a beat.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you enjoy that while you're doing an interview, to have sunflower seeds knocking off your head? Is that a good thing?
I mean, no, it's extremely tired of act. You know, it's just. I think that baseball needs to evolve into some better heckling while the guy's on the mic.
And Casale goes down swinging.
But look at the audience. I mean, look at the audience. They just all work their way around Alex and giving him a hard time.
They're all there to help you. I know they've said that to us. They want to do anything they can to assist you in the interview. Yeah. Look, can you give us a player's perspective on what the season's been like for this Rays ball club?
You know, it's been extremely disappointing. Coming in with the expectations we had in spring training to not only be a playoff team, but a World Series contending team, and you know, just be a solid all-around baseball club. It's been tough, to say the least, to see us go through the struggles we've gone through, and really not do a good job of getting out of the ruts when we've fallen into them. You know, that's what good teams do, is when you are struggling, you pick yourself up quickly and rebound from tough games, and just don't let yourself fall into that type of stretch, where I feel like we've, you know, hit that poor stretch a few times this year, and you know, you can't work yourselves out of those holes when you do that. You dig too big of a hole late in the season, come August, September, to make a good playoff push. So we've had our stretches where we've played our type of baseball. Last night was a good example of that, where we played good defense, good pitching, and timely hitting. And, you know, that's the formula for our success. And we just didn't string enough runs like that together this year to be contending at this point.
Alex, we really appreciate it. Congratulations on the great work you've done this season, and have a great finish to the year.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Alex Cobb joining us after an outstanding start performance last night.
He was tremendous. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Thanks, fellas.
My turn.
Yeah, there you go.
Right down the back. Oh, gotcha. Attaboy. Revenge is sweet. The stories from the bullpens and dugouts. Another walk picked up here with one down. Zobrist has had both free passes surrendered by Kevin Gausman in the ball game, so he's on at first base. Zobrist at first, one out. Here is DeJesus, and close. Pretty good move there by Gausman, getting Zobrist diving back in. Why you go there. Orioles with the infield set up for 2, even with the bag at third is Davis, recognizing the speed of DeJesus. And he rips that one to right field. Markakis has got to go to the corner to get it. Zobrist on his way to third. Throw will come into the cutoff man, holding the runner DeJesus. And with one away, the Rays cover the corners.
Well, take advantage of that walk, and then a fastball here, middle of the plate and down, and David DeJesus. A great job of going down and getting that pitch. You could see by the angle that Markakis took that it was going to fall in. That allowed Ben Zobrist to get an early read and get himself over to third base, and now the Rays are threatening.
And the man at the plate they like to have there in these situations.
Now, he's been so productive since the All-Star break, getting runs in, and he's right now, this is going to be a battle of execution. Gausman wants to work down, get a ground ball. Evan Longoria wants to see something up in the zone that he can get to the outfield and not get a run.
Longoria leading the team with 81 RBIs. Orioles lead it 1-0 for the moment. Longoria goes after the first one. Longoria, a strikeout victim, his first time up.
We're taking advantage of an aggressive hitter wanting to drive in a run. A good change up there by Gausman. Good pitch selection.
Defensive shift on. The Orioles keep Jonathan Scope on the second base side. Here's the 0-1 delivery in the dirt.
Well, and the one thing that Evan Longoria, where he's changed his approach a little bit, especially with 2 strikes, is the ability to hit the ball the other way, even on the ground. He sees these shifts, and if he gets himself into 2 strikes and gets something soft or something away, he will not be afraid to pop it right into that corridor right there.
And that will be good for an RBI if he can get it there. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Gausman's delivery to him. That'll be hit in the air to center. Jones going back. Adam Jones makes the catch. Zobrist will tag and score, and the ball game is tied as Longoria delivers the sac fly.
Evan Longoria, if he wants these balls to land safely, has got to keep them away from Adam Jones. Well, he goes down and gets that ball, puts some backspin on it, hits it hard, but Adam Jones does a nice job of tracking it down. Get the ball to the outfield, and the Rays have tied this ball game.
So Longoria ties it up here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, leaving DeJesus on at first as Jones got that throw into second in a hurry. Now Loney coming up. Loney flied out to center field, his first time to the plate. Orioles leading the overall series against Tampa Bay this year 11-6, but there have been a lot of tight ball games, especially here in St. Petersburg. That's down the line. Will it hang fair? No. Kicks up a little bit of the rubber in the turf. He'll stay at the plate.
Yeah, you've got to play James Loney honestly out in the field, because this is a hitter who, you talk about hit it where it's pitched. You want to pitch him away, he'll shoot you into left field. You come in, he'll get the head out and hit you to right. So does a nice job of using the whole field. That's what has made him such a successful hitter, especially since coming over to the Rays last year.
He leads the team in multi-hit games this year, 43, and is second to Longoria in RBIs with 63. 0-1 count, throw over again. DeJesus back to the bag. 2 ball clubs who don't do a whole lot of running. It's a part of their game in the course of a season, especially the Orioles. The Orioles are last in stolen bases. Tampa Bay 13. 0-1 count. DeJesus, the fake go. That's going to go to left, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Cut that one in front of Cruz and left. Loney's on first and second now with 2 down.
Now that's what James Loney will look to do. Kevin Gausman right here. This ball down and middle. He stays inside of it very nicely with that swing. Head down on the baseball, hands stay inside, and he just shoots that ball to left field. So adept at pushing that ball the other way if need be, and he keeps the Rays inning alive with that hit.
So another chance for the runner in scoring position, and Will Myers gets it. Myers, a strikeout victim, his first time up. He's had a couple of hits, 5 at bats now in the first 2 games of this 3-game series against the Orioles. 2 down and 2 on. Scope holding the runner at second. Gosman's pitch will be away for a ball.
Will Myers missed 70 games going on the disabled list, and since he's come off, trying to get that timing back. He was only on a rehab assignment for like 6-7 games, so didn't get a lot of at-bats, and since he's come back, he's been trying to lock that swing in. It's been better here since September has started.
The last 5 games, he's gone 8 for 21. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way to him, and that ball to right center field. Jones over, makes no, dropped it off the glove. 1 run is scored to Jesus. Lonnie will go to third. It'll be a base hit, I believe. A ball Jones thought he should have caught. It trickled away, and the Rays have 2 in and a 1-run lead.
Well, you just wonder where that ball hits in the glove. That ball was absolutely powdered, but look at Adam Jones run it down, trying to make a snow cone catch, and it just leaks out the top of that glove. That close.
And not happy with himself as Tampa Bay gets a big 2-out single. And what we were talking about before happening here, they're getting runs in.
Jump, you see that ball has a little bit of slice to it, and that's what took it right to the edge of that glove and then out.
So Myers gets a go-ahead RBI here in the 3rd inning. Will Myers for the Rays all the way over to third base went Loney, and not done yet. Runners at first and third again. This time Joyce gets the chance. He grounded out his first time up. Myers getting his 29th RBI of the year. That ball's going to be to second. Scope on the edge of the outfield turf will make the play over to first to retire the side. But here in the 3rd inning, 2 runs in for the Rays. They do it on 3 hits and a walk and take the lead. To baseball. With Brian Anderson, I'm Gary Thorne, and being joined by Orioles starter Bud Norris, who comes in 12-8 with a real fine year underway. Bud, can you talk a little bit for fans around the country about what it's been like here for the Orioles this season as you make the drive for a division championship?
It's just been an exciting time. Baltimore's buzzing. We're buzzing. we knew we had something special in spring training, and then to go out and get Nelson and get Ubaldo over here and to add on to the group, it's been pretty exciting. But we played pretty good baseball. We've really kind of stuck it together and really, came together as a group. The camaraderie here every day and just the work ethic on every last player has been outstanding, and obviously it's paid dividends. And we like where we're sitting now. We know that there's a lot of work left to go, and obviously run into the postseason and keep it going.
Hey, Bud, talk a little bit about the resolve of this team. You have Matt Wieters go down for the season. Manny Machado, your starting third baseman, goes down early in August. And yet, not only has this team not fallen back or held serve, but they've actually picked up the pace a little bit. Just talk about the toughness of the Orioles.
I think it just says a lot about the organization. These guys came in prepared, and obviously doors opened. And I think Caleb's taking a big stand there, and a couple guys have filled in at third with Flaherty and Scope, and now CD playing some time over there. But it just talks about the baseball players and the utility that they can play multiple positions. So Buck's got us, our minds right, knowing that things are going to happen. I think all the professionals here understand that injuries are going to happen. But losing guys like Wieters and Machado's not necessarily the ideal, situation. But guys stepped in, and everybody else is doing their part to help the team.
But how about your season, yourself on the mound? How are you feeling about it, and how do you feel here in the final month physically?
I feel outstanding. I knew that I had a new opportunity coming in this year to really kind of make a name for myself a little bit more, but to help this club a lot. Last year was a whirlwind for me coming over at the at the deadline and so forth. It didn't feel great, unfortunately, down the stretch, and we didn't get in it. But I had a great offseason, workouts and everything else, and I feel outstanding this time of year. But I just think the rotations really helped me, and we've all helped each other on a daily basis to get better. And as you can see in the consistency of our rotation, these guys are going out there day in and day out and giving us an opportunity to win games, and we're standing where we are because of the pitching and just a total team aspect.
Chris Davis goes down after hitting a home run in his first at bat. Strikeout picked up by Smiley. That is number 4 on the ball game.
Well, you know what, Bud? Let's get to the good stuff. Fantasy football. Do you partake? And if you do, how does your team looking?
Oh, yeah. We definitely partake. We had our draft just the other Monday. It's obviously called the show league around here. It's not cheap to get in it, just so you know. But, yeah, my team's all right. I made a mistake and played Rogers this week, but how are you supposed to set your first-round draft pick in week 1? Even though, playing Seattle's a tough task. But, it's going to be fun. We obviously talk a lot of shit during the whole time for it and enjoy it. That was on air.
Well, that's just how serious you are about it. That's where that comes
is
from.
The show league. I mean, let's go.
It's the show league.
All right, we wish you well in fantasy football and the continuation of the season. Bud, thanks. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much. Bud Norris, Orioles starter, and will be on the mound here for the Orioles as these two teams are going to conclude their season series tomorrow, and Bud Norris will go against Jeremy Hellickson in the final game of the year between the two of them. Delvin Young at the plate, a base hit his first time up. Young is DHing. And that will be blooped to second base, where it will be played by Zobrist, 2 down.
That pitch there by Smiley got in just enough. Delvin Young, a nice swing, but not enough power to get it over Zobrist as that ball crowded him just a little bit.
7 in a row retired now by Drew Smiley.
These are the types of runs that he can get on, and he does it quietly. He's not lighting up the radar gun, striking everybody out, but he just continues to move the ball around the zone. And if you're the Orioles, this is not what you want to see as Drew Smiley start to lock it in.
That will bring Nick Hundley to the plate. Hundley doing the catching today, and he could not hold up on that. That is another one of those high strikes. For Hundley on the year, hitting .240. 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, getting a shot with the Orioles. As the Orioles lost, of course, Matt Wieters. If the Orioles go into any distance into the postseason, certainly what will become more recognizable for baseball fans is players who weren't there to help. When you lose the likes of Wieters and Manny Machado, the Orioles still have been able to win. He refuses to chase the pitch, up and away. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Hundley to be followed by Ryan Flaherty if he can keep the inning going. 1-2, 2 down. And Hundley can. That's 5 strikeouts. That's 2 clean innings in a row that have been recorded by Smiley. And the Rays have a 2-1 lead. 5, a momentous day for baseball. Cal Ripken Jr. breaking Lou Gehrig's consecutive games record, 2,131 when it became official at Pack Ballpark. Up on the warehouse, they revealed the number. He took a lap around Camden Yards, 22 minutes standing ovation in that sellout crowd, and part of the folks there, Ken Rosenthal.
Nice to write the front page column for the Baltimore Sun, and I got to tell you, it was the highlight of my career. I've covered World Series, Super Bowls, Olympic Games, but that night stood out. It was so special. You had the president and the vice president there. So many memories from that night. I remember going home and my wife telling me, man, you cover a lot of unpleasant things. It was really nice you got to cover that one.
That was certainly one will live forever in the baseball annuals. Amazing night. Brian was there, and remember, pitch will be taken up high.
I appreciate it much more now than I did then. I was coming off of, I had pitched the night before, and it was my shortest and worst start of my career. A beat down, so I was kind of licking my wounds there the next night. But you look back now, and what a night, what an accomplishment.
Pitch taken away, and the count goes to 2-0. Two to 1 lead the Rays, 2-4-0. The Orioles 1-3-0. Rays have left 4. The Orioles have left 3. Kevin Gausman gets the big bounce at third base. Chris Davis is there over to Pierce. Escobar is retired, 1 down. Well, as expected, another ball game, much like the game played by these two teams last night. A pitcher's duel underway here, and that's not surprising.
No, not at all. As you try to lock it in here in September, you know that the Rays, with their starting rotation, that they're going to bring a guy every single night that has the ability to shut someone down. And I think that's one of the, aspects of the Oriole team that's underappreciated is their pitching. You know, this team, you look at their power numbers and what they do with the bats, but I'll tell you what, their pitching starters have been solid. The bullpen, with the addition of Andrew Miller and all the different options that Buck Showalter has to come out of that pen, is outstanding. And I don't think
it has to be the biggest surprise for the Orioles this season is what their pitching has done this year. I don't think anybody anticipated it. The Orioles currently have a team ERA of 3.59. If they can stay there, it will be their lowest in a full season since '79.
How about that?
That one hit in the air to left field. Cruz loses it and finds it. Whoa.
Yes, that's exactly right. A look of relief right there on the face of Nelson Cruz. It's what we talked about earlier. It can be difficult, and you see he thinks he's got it. Uh-oh, pick it up. And then able to make the play.
He didn't breathe there for about 5 seconds.
No, that look says it all. Not fun.
Makes the catch on Kiermaier. 2 down here in the 4th inning. Casale at the plate. Kurt Casale will go after it up the middle. He's got a base hit. So with 2 down, he's able to put it there. Let's go back to our studios for a game break. Here's Ryan Field. Ryan. Sometimes the baseball gods like doing things like that. You write it up as maybe the greatest pitching matchup of the season so far.
The reverse lock. It's the reverse lock.
So they've got a little bit of a slugfest going in that one. And the pitch will be taken away. Runner on at first base. Zobrist is on 2 walks. He has scored a run. The Orioles got the Chris Davis home run, 2nd inning, to take the 1-0 lead, answered by Tampa Bay in the 3rd. Longoria sac fly tied it up. Base hit, 2 out. Myers driving in a run to make it a 2-1 ball game. Kevin Gausman on the mound, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. That one's going to miss away. Zobrist has been very patient with Gausman. Let's check in with Ken Rosenthal. Ken?
Well, Gary, Gausman told me yesterday, I hate pitching against Zobrist. He's a good hitter. He'll battle. I can throw 3 perfect pitches in a row, and he'll foul all of them off.
And then get a walk. That really makes you mad as a pitcher. Strike on the outside corner.
And I'm going to tell you something. It is showing at the way that he's approached Zobrist this, here in this ball game. Now his third at bat. He's walked him twice. He's pitched him very cautiously, and behind here once again.
He had a 1 for 19 slump, but boy, has he broken out of that. 5 for his last 14. And inside, and again, he's going to get ahead on the count.
Yeah, and this is a young pitcher. He's trying to make a perfect pitch. He's already acknowledged, just publicly, thanks to Ken, that he does not like facing Ben Zobrist, and that's what we're seeing. Trying to be too perfect with every pitch, missing, falling behind. That's not the way to turn that luck around against Ben.
And Zobrist is 6 for 10, lifetime off Kevin Gausman. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Runner at first, not going. The pitch, and there's 3 walks picked up by Zobrist to keep this 4th inning going. Runners at first and second.
Well, this is where the Rays were able to capitalize. The last time they were able to push Kevin Gausman is with 2 outs, a couple of 2-out hits to drive the runs in, and they're in that same situation right here. And David DeJesus had one of those hits that kept that inning going.
Base hit in the 2nd inning. Now DeJesus with the RBI chance in the game. See what they can do with it. Already a 2-1 lead for Tampa Bay, and the way they pitch, 3 or 4 runs this season if they can get them. It's generally enough to put them on a winning track. Tampa Bay 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position so far. The Orioles on the other side are 0 for 3. There are 2 down. And the off-speed delivery is going to miss outside today's.
I'd say the other thing that these 2 teams do is they force you to have to go out and try and jump out to an early lead, because both of the bullpens have the ability to shorten games.
2 real good bullpens, and the deeper you go, further you get into the game, the better the bullpens get. 1-0 count, runners off first and second. Gausman's pitch, that's fouled off. About a piece of Hundley on that one.
I mean, you could see the face ripple. I mean, a square shot here on that. Wow. So you want to catch?
Yes, but I don't want to get hit.
You want to look elsewhere then.
I want to look. That's right. Go to right, young man. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Lead runner, Sally on at second base. Ball put up in the air to left. Cruz coming in. He's there, and he's got it. And Gausman gets out of the inning as Kevin Gausman will leave a couple on. It remains a 2-1 Rays lead. Fox features an early epic showdown as Connor Cook and the 7th-ranked Michigan State Spartans take on Marcus Mariota and the 3rd-ranked Oregon Ducks. Coverage begins 5:30 Eastern on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Football is back. Here's Ryan Flaherty. Orioles batting as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Flaherty hit into a fielder's choice, getting the start at short. J.J. Hardy, the regular shortstop, out, bothered by some lower back tightness. Pitch is in the dirt. Jonathan Scope and Markakis to come.
Is there any better time of year? I mean, pennant race baseball, playoff baseball, football on many different levels. Gotta love it. Live for it.
Only the NHL playoffs beat it. Pitch is taken inside.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to disagree with you. Last year was the first time that I went out and went ahead and splurged on the NHL package. Went up, saw a game in Toronto, Maple Leaf game.
Good field.
Yeah, it was awesome.
A lot different in person, isn't it?
Yes.
You just do not realize size and speed of NHL players on television. You sit there, especially if you're down near the glass. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
These guys are big.
Precision. Yeah, they are. Oh, and then you get them on the skates and they're even bigger. They're like giants out there.
Yeah. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Flaherty will foul that one off. That one cued off the end of the bat. The Orioles seeking to improve in the 9.5 game lead that they have over the Yankees. The Washington Post ran a story the other day talking about when the Orioles are likely to clinch. Now look, there can be things that will happen along the way that upset the whole thing. But based on the Protagorism theory that, of course, Bill James uses, it's somewhere in a homestand that's coming up between the 12th and the 21st is when they are most likely to clinch. The most likely date, September 17th. We'll see. Ryan Flaherty, pitch on the way to him, and he'll take it, and he's going to draw the walk. Good at bat to pick up a leadoff walk here in the inning.
Especially as hard as Drew Smyly is on left-handed hitters, to be able to work like that. Ryan Flaherty down there hitting 8. That's something that you obviously out on the mound you want to avoid, that a leadoff walk to the 8-hole. But Ryan Flaherty does a nice job to earn that walk.
Second leadoff man on in 5 innings. The other, the Davis home run. Smyly has a very strong 76% retirement rate for leadoff batters. You get 70%, you're in real good shape. Anything above that is exceptional. Jonathan Scope will foul tip that one. Scope, the number 9 hitter, second baseman, strikeout victim his first time up. And there's Nick Markakis.
When you're able to do that, you just really lower the chances of a big inning by the opposition. And if you can stay out of the big inning, you put yourself in position to win, yourself or your team. And that's what Smyly has done, especially here with Tampa.
0-1 delivery up high. We saw one of the great numbers, and it's not been updated for a while, but when the Elias Sports Bureau used to put out the Baseball Analyst, which I still consider the finest baseball publication ever done. They did it for a number of years, but it took so much time and so much money that they couldn't continue it. Leadoff walks over the history of baseball in an inning, 75% of the time a run will score in that inning. Joyce coming in will put it away, and that's over at the time even, it was over 100 years that they'd gone back and researched. But that's what a leadoff walk can do to you in an inning.
Yeah, that's a remarkable statistic. And for any pitcher out there listening, that's what the leadoff walk. I mean, make them earn it. The numbers, they speak for themselves. And 3 out of every 4 innings, there's going to be a run scored after you do that. They just cannot live with that. Not if you want to win.
Changes the pitcher's approach as well as giving the opportunity to the opponent.
It does. First of all, it puts you into the stretch. If you've walk the guy to lead off the inning, obviously your command is not there, and if your command is not there, that's going to lead to more pitches in all likelihood out over the plate. Then they start to swing the bat a little bit, put some balls in play with authority, and here comes your runs.
Nick Markakis, the Orioles leadoff batter, is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He is struck out, grounded out.
And that doesn't even take into account the demoralization that you feel out there. It's a demoralizing factor of, man, I come out here after that break and I just might as well told him, just go stand down at first, you go ahead and we'll start the inning now.
Good point. Here's the 1-0 delivery to him. Markakis is going to get a base hit into right field. Myers up with it. Will hold the runner at second. So the Orioles, down by a run here in the 5th with one away, have runners on at first and second base.
And it's been the two left-handed hitters in the inning. Flaherty works the walk. Markakis able to hit this ball sharply into right. And now with one out, the Orioles have a threat.
And Pierce will be coming to the plate. They'll conference this one. The Orioles with the 0 for 3 with runners in position so far. Steve Pierce, the abdominal strain, took him out of a few ball games. Now back. Always has a lot of fans on hand here because he's from Lakeland, Florida, not too far away.
Not too far away is right. And I'll tell you something. What about the godsend that Steve Pierce has been for this Orioles ball club? The flexibility that he has given them. And he's producing.
And that one will be foul back. Pierce this season with that overall 289, an amazing 16 home runs and 37 RBIs for someone who was supposed to be a bench player. The Orioles, because of the numbers during the season, actually had to designate him for assignment.
How about that?
And he was claimed by another team and refused to sign because he wanted to come back to the Orioles. So he waited it out until, under the baseball rules, the Orioles could re-sign him. How about that? I don't know I've ever heard that before.
No, that especially being claimed by somebody else speaks to a lot about the organization. Buck Showalter is a manager, the opportunities that he knew that or hoped to still have with the Orioles, and then when brought back up and pressed into duty, look what he's done.
And the pitch up high. Smiley way up with that one. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Pierce, who has walked and flied to center. 2 Oriole base runners. Orioles with a chance on a base hit here to get the ball game tied up. Here's one of those shifts that occurred during an at-bat. Escobar, or second baseman Zobrist, moves back over to the second base side of the bag. Ball is popped up. Somebody. Oh, catch made. Smiley. He was looking for help. There wasn't any.
And he took it himself. I'll tell you something. Aggressive play there by Drew Smiley. This ball was not hit that high. He gets a good jump on it. Loney's coming from a long way away. Casale can't get there. Drew Smiley splits the difference and makes the play. Well, you don't see that very often. Usually they're pushing anywhere near a play where you might look like an athlete. Well, Drew got it done there.
And if he doesn't break off the mound immediately, that ball might have just fallen as a foul ball. So Smiley helps his own cause defensively. Pierce retired. Now runners on at first and second base with 2 down, and that will bring up Adam Jones. So Jones has hit into a fielder's choice and he is struck out. Smiley's worked him all over the place in the strike zone. Jones has the 3rd best average against left-handers in the American League, coming into today's play at .355 against lefty. But Smiley has not shown anything that would indicate those numbers.
No, he's not allowed Adam Jones to get comfortable in the box. I mean, he has really moved the ball around the strike zone. He's changed speeds, and he's really put the pressure on Jones, and Jones so far has not been able to answer.
1-0 delivery on the way, foul back.
Take a look at the way that he has sequenced his pitches right there, soft and then hard up in the zone. How he just continues to move it around, never in one place too long and never at one speed. Complete contact, and then in the 3rd inning, it's going to be quick. You're going to go soft down and away. Fastball middle up. Hey, let's do it again. Clinical.
And that's the Drew Smiley base watch pitch since coming over in the deal. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Jones, 2 down. Orioles got the leadoff walk from Flaherty. The runner is second base. Single Markakis at first. And Jones on another one of those that's down, skimmed off the plate. 1 and 2. Now we're going to go out and make sure on what they want to throw here.
Well, and you see this an awful lot with the Rays, a lot of meetings Love the meetings. I don't get it. Well, the thing is, too, is Drew Smyly's a guy that likes to work at a pretty good pace. And he's got himself to 2 strikes here. And
1-2 down. Jones will go down swinging, and Smyly gives it a 360. Jones throws the helmet, the bat, as Smyly wins the battle again against the strikeout. And the Orioles lead 2-on. It remains a Rays 2-1 lead. Sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. The Trop in St. Pete for this middle game of the 3-game set. Gary Thorne, Brian Anderson with you. The Orioles check the cards. Showalter. 33 players being carried by the Orioles with the September call-ups. Kevin Gausman in the ball game has had 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Rays have touched him up for 2 runs on 5 hits, while the Orioles have a run on 4 hits off Smyly, the run being the Davis home run. Chris Davis in the 2nd inning. Gausman works here in the bottom of the 5th. Longoria sac fly, RBI in the 3rd, and he has struck out. He'll go after the first pitch. Nick Markakis will amble over. The pitch, and an out, and 1 down. Fans, you can follow every game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Just download it on the App Store or go to MLB.com today. Loney with a single, and he is flied out. Rays on a homestand where they have won 3 and lost 5. The Orioles started a road trip last night with a loss here. They have 3 games here and then move on to play the Red Sox at Fenway for 3.
What are your thoughts on September call-ups? You know, you have Major League season, you got a 25-man roster, you play the first 5 months that way, and then all of a sudden you get down to the most important games of the year, and you can just empty the bench if you want to.
Don't like it.
Rules change.
I don't like it. I agree with both Joe Madden and Buck Showalter agree on that. All right, have the call-ups. Let the guys get the Major League service be around. But for every series, you're required to post a 25-man roster.
Love it.
Every series.
Absolutely. That way you got to keep some starting pitchers on that roster.
Yep.
You can't keep them all off, have your one starter for the day, and load up on bench players.
Exactly. maybe even require you name 5 starters for every series, whatever, but limited. So you do not have this gaggle of players around that you. And the other problem for teams, especially teams that are winning, Brian, as you know, is how do you get the work in for everybody? You got so many guys to hit, so many guys to throw that it's a constant struggle trying to keep everybody game ready. Fact is, you can't.
That's exactly right. Well, you think more players, it's going to take more time. More time is not what you want to be doing in September. No. If anything, you want to scale back a little bit to keep guys fresh, not be out there, whipping the horse.
The other thing, how do you feel about the hired guns now in baseball? This drives me crazy. You come along in the season, you're a winning team, you're getting ready to go to the postseason, and now you start with a hired gun routine. You go out and you sandbag it. I mean, you get the best players from the other teams that are losing and put them on your team. I don't like that. I understand.
No, right. Well, yeah, it's within the framework of the rules right now, so you understand it, but it doesn't mean you have to like it. And I couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
I think fans deserve to see you try and put a ball club together as a team. I'd even go to June 1. Say you got a ball club June 1, that's it. You're going to make any changes, you're going to have to do it by putting players through waivers. No more of this non-waiver stuff at the end of, the 6th month of the season. That is going to be taken for a ball. 1 down. Loney is on. What do you think, Ken Rosendahl?
Well, Gary, I'm not sure I agree with you. Now, certainly before July 31st, the trades are something that fans really love. It's good for the game. You would agree with that, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about August?
I'm talking about being able to get players where you don't have to go through waivers so late in the season. I would move that back, way back.
Well, that's a great point, and there has been discussion among executives about moving the non-waiver deadline back to August 15th and eliminating all the August waiver stuff. Now, that might be an idea worth considering, but I like the possibilities that teams have on July 31st to really remake themselves with 2 months left. And fans, I can tell you this, they love it. I know that just from Twitter and how they follow that time of year. So I'm not sure. I know your point. I get your point. But at the same time, the trades are part of what makes baseball great.
Well, let me ask you this. Why, do you think that teams going forward are going to be as eager to make those deadline deals? Who are the 2 principal teams this year getting aggressive before the trade deadline? That's right. And what's happened to them?
They're losing.
Hanging on by a thread.
Brian, that's a great point. At the same time, Oakland would tell you still that the trade for Lester is something that they had to do, along with the trade for Zamarja and Hamill, because Sonny Gray and Scott Kazmir have basically faded in August, and they needed that pitching. So we'll see once the postseason comes how Oakland fares. They're set up better with their rotation than they were before those trades were made.
0-2 delivery will be taken outside. Well, we were talking about this upstairs before the game. Brian and I were about Moneyball and Billy Beane, who I have great respect for, and I think sometimes gets slammed for Moneyball because people don't read the whole thing. Billy always said Moneyball's about 162 games. It is not about the postseason. So what he tried to do was to go the postseason route before you get there this year. And look what happened.
It's the irony.
Yeah, it really is. It's the irony of it that he didn't go against the grain of what he believes in. It's what he's always said. He said you got to change things in the postseason. You're going to have tight ball games. You got to have some power. You got to get people in. You got to have that strong pitching. It's not about just on base percentage and piling up numbers.
Yep.
And now, you take that jump a month and a half before you get to postseason, and you may not get there. It's interesting. And there they are. I mean, the Angels playing the best baseball probably they've played all year now with that big lead. And that one will be fouled off.
Coming on the heels of Oakland losing 8 of their last 10. 2 teams moving in opposite directions. And Seattle, look at Seattle creeping up there with that pitching staff.
Trying to make the wild card now. Seattle, Oakland. That's really their legitimate hope to get in, is in the wild card situation. And that's going to be a race that's going to go down to the end. Commissioner Bud Selig did, in that regard for playoffs, I think will be one of the real positives, and there were lots of them during his term. But you did everything by having the one wild card team. It messed up the whole thing about winning in the division. Now that you got to have a wild card playoff game, the division win matters. Nobody wants that wild card game by choice.
At all. And that's the genius of that second wild card. It puts the onus back on winning the division. You don't want a one and done coin flip type of game.
No, you don't. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Will Myers, runner on at first base. Osmond's delivery to him, and he got him. Foul tipped and held on to by Hundley for the second out of the inning.
A good fastball here by Gausman. You can see Will Myers pulling off that pitch, trying to really get the hands out front, the hips open, and drive it, and it just able to sneak underneath that swing.
So now with 2 away, runner at first, Loney on the walk. Here is Joyce. He has grounded out a couple of times in the ball game. 2-1 lead. Rays on top. 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Longoria sac fly. Myers RBI single. Chris Davis for the Orioles. The home run came in the 2nd inning to put them on top of the ball game. We'll see. One of the Orioles' numbers this year that's impressive is they are 54-11 when they score first in the game. Now, they scored first in this ball game, but they're trailing here in the 5th inning. 0-1 delivery. That'll be fouled off.
It kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You score early in the ball game, you take a lead, you allow your starter to go as long as he can, nurse that lead, turn it over to that bullpen, and just close them out. That's the formula that both of these managers want to employ. Joe Madden was able to do that last night with the work of Cobb, some late runs, and then Boxberger, McGee. Showalter looking to do the same thing here this afternoon, but he's going to need a couple of runs on the board to do that.
0-2 delivery on the way. That'll be punched up where the shift wasn't, and in foul territory it'll be played by Ryan Flaherty. Joyce retired, so are the Rays. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. Rays up 2-1. The official pain reliever of MLB, and by the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide, now with FlexBall technology. It's shaving rebuilt. Gary Thorne and Brian Anderson with you here at the Trop in St. Petersburg. Well, we've kind of said it's power against pitching, and that's the way this game's going right now.
Absolutely. I had a preview of it last night. A game that was another shutout that the Rays have been involved in, and here again, a 2-1 ball game as we move into the latter innings. These teams, they want to win this game and start to spread things out. Someone's got to get it started.
Is this going to be Smiley's last start?
That is that's going to be interesting to see what they do. I know that they want to really limit Smiley's innings, after last year pitching out of the bullpen the majority of the year, and this year coming up, over 150 innings. I think there was a talk of a hard cap around 160, and it'll be interesting to see what they do.
That ball will be fouled away. Nelson Cruz out in front. Joe Madden telling us this morning, day to day, regarding the decision on Smiley. Yeah,
well, the thing is this team still believes that there could be a miracle. And so you'd hate to have Drew Smiley be taken out of the rotation if there's still a chance. And I think that's why Joe is still hanging on to that day-to-day as he picks up another strikeout there off speed on Nelson Cruz. But he's such a big part of the future of this team and the rotation that you also don't want to jeopardize him. It's a balancing act.
It is. That pitch right there just deadly against the right-handers. That's 7 strikeouts in the ball game for Smiley, 2 in a row. Davis coming up, followed by Delmon Young. Chris, the home run in the second inning for Chris Davis, his 26th. It's the only run the Orioles have on the board. And a swing and a miss. Didn't get a good cut on that one. The Orioles have stranded 5. The Rays have left 7 on base. The Orioles have had only a couple left in scoring position. The Rays 3, as the 2 pitchers, Gausman and Smiley, settling down and going at one another with some pretty effective pitches. 1-1, and that one swung on a miss. Couldn't catch up to that one. 1-2. One ball, 2 strike count. Only 2 walks in the ball game off the 25-year-old left-hander. Davis will watch that one go by. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Chris Davis, one of those hitters, hands up high as he starts into the swing. The hands start to drop. There's an uppercut to it, so you see teams trying to attack him above those hands with the hard stuff, below the zone with the soft stuff. Try to get him to expand his zone. Right now he's able to work this count out to full, so he should get a pitch to hit. My bet right here is fastball up. I'll try to get up above the hands.
3-2 delivery on the way. It'll be popped up and out of play. I lost that looking at the catwalk.
Not that hard.
Oh my gosh. He'll keep it at 3-2. He's had 4 home runs. There you see, looking up into the catwalk of those rings you see. There's all kinds of ground rule stuff here about balls hitting the catwalks being in play. I don't understand.
But you do have the rings down now.
I do.
We did have a little test on that.
The ABC thing. Because I was confused whether you start at the top and go A, B, C, D. That D ring is the one that you could just barely see that's way the lowest one there. There you go. Then it works up, up, C, and up.
B, and A. Hey, arena baseball, baby.
Unbelievable. No one's hit A yet. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and that one way up in the air to left field. Hang time on that one gives Joyce plenty of time to get in to get it. That will bring up Delmon Young. We'll take you back a decade ago with Delmon Young.
For the first selection of the 2003 Major League Baseball Draft, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays select outfielder Delmon Young from Adolfo Camarillo High School in California.
There are the numbers for him. First overall pick by Tampa Bay. And the average and power that he's noted for has moved around a little bit since then. Now picked up by the Orioles. 1 for 2 in this ball game. 0-1 delivery to him, foul back. Our Game Changer profile brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers.
And he is still a dangerous hitter. He knows what he's doing up there. He's been productive this year for the Orioles. Tough on lefties. Will put a good at bat on you. Very aggressive, too.
0-2 delivery from Smiley will be bounced. Kenny, you're watching him up close down there today.
I am, Gary, and it's interesting. Adam Jones and Orioles first base coach Wayne Kirby called Delman the pre-draft Delman, meaning he is as athletic now as he was back then. He had that foot surgery after the 2012 season. Only this spring did he start to feel better.
What a help he has been for the Orioles, no question. There is Wayne Kirby at first base, whom Delman goes to as a mentor on the Orioles. 294 average for him, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs, and a swing and a miss. Smiley with that great pitch that's down and away. So that's 8 strikeouts in the ball game. 2 more here in the 6th inning. Another clean inning, and it remains 2-1.
Smiley, what he's been able to do today, really confounding that Baltimore lineup with a mix of off-speed fastballs up in the zone. He's moved the ball in and out, up and down, and Baltimore has just not been able to tee him up. And right here, how about this? Showing some athleticism coming off the mound. A play that's probably not going to be made if it's not made by him. Doing it all out there for the Rays.
Great effort all the way around. Let's take a look at our game summary brought to you by Domino's. Visit Domino's.com. There you see Myers, RBI single third. Chris Davis of the Orioles solo home run is 26th in the 2nd inning. The line, run, just 4 hits, 6 innings and 8 strikeouts. Kevin Gausman on the other side, 2 runs, 5 hits with the K's picked up and 4 walks. All right, what are they saying?
Well, right now, I don't know. Usually managers talking to a pitcher when he's been dealing like that, that may be the end for him. And with pitching coach involved, Drew Smiley may be saying, I don't want it to be the end for me. We'll see.
You saw Peralta's up in the bullpen. He's getting some hugs there. Looks like he's done.
Yeah, that sure does. You leave that meeting and you're getting hugs, you're tapped out.
So Smiley, not knowing whether or not he'll pitch again this season, may be coming out of the ball game here with the 2-1 score. Well, the Rays will try and add some runs against Kevin Gausman. Ground ball will go to short this time. Brian Flaherty is there, makes the play to Pierce. And a pitch in and out as Escobar's retired. Escobar a double, 1 for 3 in the game now.
I'll tell you what, Kevin Gausman, after giving up those 2 runs in the 3rd inning, has really battled to keep his team in the game and done a nice job quietly trying to match Drew Smiley pitch for pitch.
86 pitches thrown by Gausman so far in the ball game. No problem taking him to 100 or 110, 115. 1 down in the 6th inning. Kiermaier. He has grounded out and flied out. Sally, the number 9 hitter, waiting on deck. Davis in at 3rd base, and the pitch taken for a strike. Tampa Bay trying to make it 2 in a row. They came into this series last night having lost 3 games. The Orioles came into the series having won 3. That all ended last night. Big swing and a miss on the pitch down and in.
How about the velocity? How about the velocity? You talk about a guy being able to take 100, 110 pitches. There's nothing that he's losing with the stuff. If anything, starting to ramp things up here as this game moves on.
0-2 delivery on the way, and another heater up there and got him.
I'll tell you what, that is making short work of a hitter. Changeup, fastball, upper 90s. This one up in the zone, just impossible to get on top of that pitch.
You're looking at a couple of really good young starters here in this ball game. Kurt Casale coming up, 2 down. And Ken Rosenthal, a highly respected player by his teammates out there on the mound for the Orioles, yes?
Absolutely right, Gary, and also by the coaching staff. They love his toughness, his aptitude, and what one coach describes as his never-ending search to get better. Gausman's a curious guy. He's constantly picking the coach's brains, the catcher's brains. He told me, and Brian, I thought this was really refreshing to hear from a young player, I'll be the first to admit that I don't necessarily know that much.
It absolutely is. And you know what? By acknowledging that, you will start to learn. You're like a sponge. When you think you have all the answers, that's the toughest time to make any kind of real progress. But admitting and acknowledging that you don't have all the answers and you're open to get the right teachers, get smart in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. The Orioles have added the right teachers. Buck Showalter with Dave Wallace, the pitching coach. Swing and a miss on a pitch down. Tag is put on, and Gausman continues to rock. 2 strikeouts in the inning. That's going to be 7 in the game. He retires the side in order. Our pitching duel continues. We'll return to St. Petersburg after a word from your local Fox station. Some great hard-pounding excitement and historic performances, and it's all to come. Don't miss the 2014 postseason beginning September 30th. Joel Peralta.
On for the 60th time, 3.86 earned run average. Has been a little bit of a rough patch here for Peralta. His last 8 outings, he's been scored upon in 5 of those.
Great job by Drew Smiley, the starter. Leaves with a chance to be the winner. Ball will be fouled back by Nick Hundley.
And you have to believe that Baltimore dugout, that Baltimore lineup is so glad to see Drew Smiley sitting in the dugout and not out on that mound, because he was very good.
Peralta pitching against the Orioles this season. This will be his 9th appearance. He's given up 4 runs, 9 hits, and 7 2/3 innings against the Orioles. Walking 1, striking out 7. That ball in the air to left field, near the wall, and right off the top. It's in play. Second base umpire moving out to signal that the ball was in play and did not get above the line. Boy, that was close, and Buck Showalter's coming out.
Hey, you don't blame him. 1-run game. Let's take a look. Right off of the yellow. Right off. That close.
So he will come out. See whether or not they are willing to look at a replay. No question where it hit.
Yep, absolutely. That close to a home run. That's something that Peralta has been susceptible to this year, is the long ball. And that was a rocket shot right off the top. You know what? If they're just one railing, it's a home run.
Yep. It's got to be over the yellow. So the Orioles, that ends up being a long single. Nick Hundley, a leadoff single here in the 7th inning.
Got to be the longest single to left field in this ballpark.
He hit that so hard that he didn't even have a chance to make a turn to go to second base. Well, the Orioles get the leadoff man on. Here's Flaherty playing the bunt. Longoria. Flaherty swinging. Couldn't hold up on that one, and that will be a strike.
Well, you've got Yunel Escobar shaded up the middle, and you're talking about Evan Longoria, even with the bag, eyeing Flaherty. He's already laid one down.
Even with the bag at third, still Longoria here, even though he didn't show bunt on the first one. Fielder's choice and a walk for Ryan Flaherty, starting his short today. Flaherty swings, fouls it back. So Peralta gets ahead of him. 2 strikes.
You know, this is another one of those defensive setups where if you're a left-handed hitter that can handle the bat a little bit, try to slap the ball the other way. If they're going to pitch a middle of the plate away, you've got a wide open. Now they're going to change it up a little bit. Evan Longoria moving to basically traditional shortstop. Yunel Escobar heading up the middle. You try to take that slap the other way away from Flaherty as the Rays have more action in their bullpen.
Double B's. Beliveau Belfour swing and a foul tip into the mid. That's a big strikeout. Flaherty goes one away, 7th inning.
Got him to expand the zone. This pitch just off the plate away. You see Flaherty going out there to try and protect, and only able to get a piece of it. Not enough.
So Flaherty retired. 8 strikeouts for Smiley. Peralta's got 1. Tampa Bay pitchers continue as a staff to close in on the all-time record for strikeouts in a season, which they will meet somewhere here in the final month. Hanging the K's here at the Trop. Jonathan Scope, he has struck out and flied out. Runner at first base, and the pitch taken away for a ball. Peralta trying to hang tough here in the 7th. Part of the shutdown bullpen that Tampa Bay can throw at you.
And this is the inning that the Orioles want to make their move, because you're getting close to that Boxberger McGee territory. And those guys have been, you talk about shutdown, as good as it gets.
Wow, there's that big cut. Jonathan Scope loves pitches that are up in the strike zone.
And you know why? Pitches up in the zone, you see the whole baseball, so it looks huge. The problem is, if it's a little too much up in the zone, you just can't get to it. You see it good, you can't get the bat there.
Has faced Peralta only once. He is 0-1 against him. Conley with a lead at first base, short lead. Peralta with a 1-1 delivery to him. Scope fouls it right straight back. So Peralta will get ahead on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. He comes in for the conference.
Wouldn't be an inning without a meeting.
Got to have a meeting.
Got to have a meeting.
Meetings are important. That is not a planned thing in the Tampa Bay organization. Look, you get to these counts. All right, I want the pitcher.
I think communication is, but I think sometimes it obviously can be taken a little bit too far as you're going out there and meeting just in a 1-2 count.
And another one up there, and he got him.
The problem is this: they continue to work out. Last couple of meetings have worked out in strikeouts, so you know what? You're going to keep going back to it.
That will be it. Peralta's done his job with a couple of strikeouts. He'll work 2/3 of an inning, a single, and 2 Ks. He will be responsible for Nick Hundley, the base runner, at first. And now Joe Madden wants the matchup. Nick Markakis, the leadoff batter for the Orioles, coming up. 7th inning with 2 down. The Rays leading it 2-1.
Peralta able to get the first 2 outs, leaves a runner at first, and on comes Jeff Beliveau for the 20th time. You see his season numbers. Got a strikeout an inning, and Joe Madden really likes the dynamic that he brings to this bullpen. He's got a funky delivery, a lower 3/4 arm angle, able to run the fastball up and down, a snappy little breaking ball. And on here to face Nick Markakis.
So Beliveau, the 27-year-old out of Providence, Rhode Island, with a runner at first base in a 2-1 game. Try and get Markakis, who has singled, struck out, and grounded out in the ballgame. Markakis, one of the reasons the Orioles have done well against left-handers, because he's upped his numbers. Nick is actually hitting better against lefties, .290, than against right-handers, .274.
Here's that motion from Jeff Beliveau. See him kind of pat the glove right there, and then you'll see him just kind of low 3/4 with that arm angle, with the breaking ball and the fastball. But it's the fastball up that really sets that breaking ball up well for Beliveau.
Beliveau with a 1-0 count. Hundley, the runner at first base, not going anywhere. That's on the inside corner for a strike to Markakis.
You talk about Markakis hitting left-handed pitchers better. It's all about keeping that front side in there. There's such a tendency for left-handed hitters to kind of leak a little bit against left-handed pitching. That leaves them susceptible to pitches that are soft, pitches that are away. But Markakis stays in there nicely, and that's led to increased numbers.
He's increased his average by 20 points against lefties from last year. 1-1 delivery on the way. Markakis will foul that one back. Beliveau gets ahead on the count, 1-2.
Now watch right here. They're going to try to go away, but watch that front side. He stays right on that baseball, just fouls it off, but nothing leaking down that first base line. Stays closed, trusts his hands.
Defense plays pretty much straight away against him because he shot a lot of balls into left field this year, especially on these kinds of counts. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Markakis will take it away, and the count will go to 2-2. Markakis generally is in the top 10 in the league and most difficult to strike out from year to year. He has a great sense of the strike zone. 75 strikeouts this year, 53 walks drawn. Important in the leadoff spot that he gets into, because he will extend the at-bats with a lot of foul balls.
Yeah, and that helps the guys on the bench, you know, when you're facing a starter or a new pitcher, to see what he has. Another plus.
2-2 delivery. Markakis pops it up outside of third. That's going to be over the dugout. No play.
Of the ability to extend at-bats, to take the occasional walk, to be able to hit lefties and righties. You know, Markakis a good on-base guy. He's not your typical leadoff hitter as far as speed, stolen bases goes. But in this lineup, he serves a purpose. The purpose. Try to get on base, get to those big boppers. This is a team that's awfully reliant upon the long ball.
Orioles got it from Davis to get the early lead in the ball game. They did not have a home run in the game last night, obviously being shut out 3-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hundley off first base. Belivo's delivery to him. Markakis up, can't get it. So Belivo comes on and gets a strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 7th inning stretch time, 2-1 Tampa Bay. It's Frosted Flake cereal. They're great. And by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. Families, folks on hand watching Rays baseball against the Orioles here at the Trop. And seeing a heck of a ball game. 7th inning stretch time here. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. The Rays a run on 5 hits, no errors for the Orioles. Rays have left 7. The Orioles have left 6. We go to the bottom half of the 7th. Kevin Gausman has gone the distance for the Orioles. The 23-year-old with the 4 walks and 7 strikeouts. His season high was 111 pitches, and that was against Tampa Bay. Came on June 18. Zobrist Gosman's looking in going, you again?
Ball one.
Ball one. He has walked him 3 times. De Jesus on deck. Zobrist 3 walks and a run scored. 1-0 delivery there for his strike down low. Zobrist has never had a 4-walk game. Make it a shot at it. He's still 6 for 10 off Gosman. Ryan Mattis in the bullpen for the Orioles, left-hander. 1-1 delivery on the way. That's in there for a strike. Gets ahead 1-2.
They had 2 quality pitches after falling behind 1-0. We talked about those splits before. The average 299 and 200. The difference between 1-0 and 0-1. But fastball down and away, changeup down and away, and now he's in control.
McGee in the bullpen got the save last night. Pitch will be taken down low. Now, as a former pitcher, Brian, let me ask you another one. Number that jumps out at me is with Gosman. When the bases are empty and he's in the windup, it's 239.
Yep.
Runners on base,
yep.
307.
Yep. That's, you know what, and sometimes that's just a change in your delivery. You get a little bit anxious with runners on base. You start to speed things up towards the plate, and you know, if you get going a little bit too fast, the front side goes too fast, the arm can't catch up, and all of a sudden, arm doesn't catch up, balls stay up, they flatten, they become more hittable, and you know, that's just something that, you know, getting the reps, learning to calm down. You know, they talk about slowing the game down. That's what you have to do with runners on base. They're there, understand that they're there, but mechanically you work in, especially as a right-hander, where you're going to be able to control the running game somewhat and then just make your pitches.
And that one down low. Where is Kenny?
Gary, it's interesting to me that Gausman, with 93 pitches, starts this inning against Zobrist, who, of course, as you guys mentioned, has walked 3 times. And I'm wondering, Gary, do you think Showalter is testing him here?
Oh, I don't know it so much as a test as it would be defined as giving an experience. Line drive to short. Clarity is there. He wants Gosman to push himself. He wants him to go deeper. He wants him to be in tight games because he wants him ready to be a starter in the postseason, I think.
That's absolutely correct in my estimation, too, because, you know, don't underestimate the power of getting a chance to pitch in a pennant race and what that does for your confidence, what that does to hone your abilities in. And you're right. If you're going to count on a guy in October, he's going to have to get these tough outs in early September.
And the other thing Showalter has done all season with his pitchers, he always tries to give the starter in a tight game a chance to be in a winning situation when he comes out. So he'll go the extra inning maybe here with Gosman so that when the Orioles come up in the next half inning, any runs they get will be to his favor. He'll do that consistently with starters. And
don't think that all those starters know that. And I'm going to tell you, when you have a manager that will do that for you, that is huge. You talk about building, you know, a lot. You know, you talk about Bud Norris and what he was saying about this team and how tight they are, a tight-knit group, a family type of atmosphere. When your manager's willing to extend himself maybe a little bit for you to be put in that opportunity, you'll pay him back tenfold.
Yep. 0-1 count, 1 down. David DeJesus at the plate. DeJesus will take the pitch. DeJesus a single, a run scored in the 3rd. Davis, the home run for the Orioles in the 2nd, was the first one on the board. Then Longoria tied at sac fly in the 3rd, followed in the inning by Will Myers' RBI base hit. Nothing since. A 2-1 ball game. That ball fouled off. Now we're into the best of the bullpens. 1 and 2. Up to 103 pitches thrown by Gosman. Again, as I said, 111 is high. And that'll be chopped. He got on top of that one. Jonathan Scope has got that. And DeJesus is retired. Let's take a game break. Back to our studios. Ryan. Giants suddenly playing some pretty good baseball. They've got the lead in the wild card race in the National League. Here's Longoria. Pitch is taken for a strike. Wild card looks like this.
Well, 'tis the season. I mean, this is when the focus gets a little bit more sharp, more concentration. You got a tough matchup today. You jump out early, looking to hold on.
That ball popped up shallow right. That's Jonathan Scope, who was in that shift, who had a ways to go to get at the second baseman. So a 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th, and we've completed 7. We go to the 8th in a 2-1 ball game. Rays on top.
Gausman was awfully impressive today. Gave up a couple of runs in the 3rd inning, but settled in. And really, as the game moved on, he got better and better. There was really no decrease in his stuff. The fastball velocity and movement was very good. The changeup and the occasional slider. You got to love the body of work that Kevin Gausman put up today, and now hoping that his offense can come through for him.
Any runs here would be to his credit. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball, presents the walk-off. Great walk-offs waiting at FortFoxSports.com/Budweiser. Grab some Buds. Here's Jake McGee on to pitch.
Jake McGee on for the 67th time. He's one of the two-headed monster that Joe Madden will use at the back end of ball games. This time Jake getting the call here in the 8th inning. Powerful lefty, and no question about what he's going to try and do. Heater after heater.
Pitched in the ball game last night, came away with a save, struck the side out in the 9th inning, getting Jones, Cruz, and Davis.
How about that? Right through the heart of that Oriole lineup. And you know that these Baltimore hitters, they feast on the fastball, and they know that that's what they're going to get from Jake McGee. That's what makes it so impressive about what he does.
Inside to Pierce. Pierce has walked, flied out, and popped out. Steve Pierce is the Oriole lineups, the only one today who has not struck out. Everybody else has had a K or two in this game. 8 for Smiley, 2 for Peralta, 1 for Beliveau. And the pitch will be taken away. So Pierce trying to work a way on here. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles batting, 8th inning. Pitching duel, as was true last night. That's always in Tampa Bay's favor. And Pierce is on with a leadoff walk.
Well, how about that? Jake McGee, the one thing that has really allowed him to take on a more prominent role and have the success that he's had this year is his command. The command has been very good. That right there, he's going to walk the leadoff hitter. That's going to give way to a pinch runner. Get some speed out there for Baltimore.
Quentin Berry, the fastest of the Orioles, will come on to run here in the 8th inning. Berry coming up with the ball club September adds for this very reason, to be a base runner. That's his job. He's got great speed, not necessarily to steal, but to give the Orioles a chance to score a run on a hit from first base. Swing and a miss. Adam Jones, 2 strikeouts, is hit into a fielder's choice.
Well, Adam Jones, you see him trying to get that foot down in time to get everything started and just not able to do that. And that's what happens with Jake McGee. He's so smooth with his delivery and with the velocity, and ball jumps out of his hand and it's on top of you before you know it.
2 for 10 lifetime. Jones off McGee. Left-hander's pitch right down there again. 0-2.
And Adam Jones got to be saying to himself, what do I have to do? Here's another fastball. It's down in the zone. This one not above the hands. You see him go down and try and get it, and he just scoops underneath it.
Two. 8th inning, nobody out. Long hold in the pitch, and that'll be fouled straight back. For McGee this season against the Orioles, this is the 7th appearance he's made. He's given up no runs on 2 hits in 6 innings against the Orioles. McGee's got a victory. He's 1-0, and he's 4 out of 5 in saves against the Orioles this year. Two count. Berry will go back. Ooh. Loney had to go up to haul it in.
James Loney using all of that wingspan. You know, sometimes you see these pitchers when they ease up a little bit on their throws, not quite as accurate. And James Loney, boy, good thing. Good thing that ball goes bouncing down into the corner. Things get really interesting.
Berry has never been caught stealing in the majors. 24 for 24.
Got an aggressive lead, too.
0-2 delivery on the way, and a towering pop-up. Silo shot. Look out, Jones. That'll be hauled in. Casale gets it. That is the straightest silo shot you may ever see. That was right straight up.
You got to get a great look at it. Casale, all he's got to do is turn around. That's something you see in a movie. That doesn't happen in real games.
You could stand there at home plate with a fungo bat and try and do that 1,000 times. You would never get it.
See you next year.
Yep. Cruz 0 for 3 in the ballgame. He's grounded out, popped out, struck out. Berry extending the lead even more over there at first base. Recognizing that, another toss over by McGee.
Well, here at Tropicana Field, a good gauge for a lead is the cutout. That cutout, you know, a lot of guys will be out there with the cutout right between the legs, but you get that left foot out there, that's a very, very aggressive lead. You can see Berry starting to move out. He'll take another half step here. That's an aggressive lead.
Yeah. Oh, and he threw it away, and Berry's going to go down. Well, he got him to keep throwing. And the throw over to third to nobody in particular is played by Longoria.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Jake McGee, a fastball pitcher. He's so used to the same arm speed that sometimes when you pull off of it, and you see with pitchers a lot and just try to lob it, they don't have the command. They don't have the same accuracy. I mean, all you got to do, James Loney's a big guy, 6'3", 6'4". Get it close with that wingspan, and even that one gets over his head. We saw a near miss earlier, and that allows the Orioles a runner in scoring position. Boy, oh boy.
Wow. So Hickey comes out, the pitching coach. Jim will talk to him here. With Cruz at the plate, what a difference he has been for the Orioles. Late signing. The Orioles would not be where they are, 9.5 games up in the division, if it were not for their home run RBI leader, who has been an enormous surprise around the game. Will he get consideration for an MVP? I'm not sure very much. Not that Mike Trout doesn't deserve it, but if you measure what a player means to a team, there are two guys whose measurements are enormous.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you know what? Still, with over 3 weeks of baseball left, you'll see where those power numbers for Cruz end up.
There's one that hits the plate. It's a base hit. Making the turn and coming in to score is Barry. And this game is tied at 2 in the 8th inning. And we talked about how an expanded roster can change the outcome of a game. Barry would not be here if you did not have an expanded roster.
And watch the read, the chop. As the chop behind him, he already knows I'm heading to third. It's a bonus that it gets into center field, and that's what allows him to score. Never hesitates. Secondary lead, and off he goes. You're absolutely right. How did he get to second base? An errant pickoff throw. Is he throwing over on Steve Pearce?
No.
Probably not.
No, that's right. So Cruz comes through again, and the ball game is tied. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Nelson Cruz among the top 10 runs batted in. That's 94. That ties him with Cabrera of the Tigers for 4th place. Think about that. Tied with Cabrera in RBIs. 0-1 count. Chris Davis, the home run that came in the 2nd inning. He'll take the pitch inside, down by the hands, and the count will go to 1-1. So the Orioles take advantage of that leadoff walk. And he came around to score. And now the Orioles will try and get the lead here in the 8th inning. 1-1 delivery. Here, too, is what we had talked about before regarding Kevin Gausman. At worst now, he's a non-decision because Buck Showalter left him in to pitch that last half inning. And if they get any more runs, he's got a chance to be a winning pitcher. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Shift on against Davis. He goes the other way. Gets a base hit. Kiermaier going over to get it. Good play by the center fielder to cut that off and hold the runner at second base.
Yeah, because as hard as that ball was hit, you thought for a second there that maybe it could split those defenders. If that happens, who knows where Nelson Cruz is. But Kevin Kiermaier out in center field is going to be on his horse. Good angle to cut that off, keep Cruz at second. But a nice job by Chris Davis. Not an easy matchup with the velocity of Jake McGee, and he just popped that ball the other way, and Orioles have it going again.
So 2 on, 1 down. Bullpen will be activated again by the Rays. We're going to get another pinch runner. David Lowe is on his way to second base. Belfour is back up. 2nd time he's been up in the bullpen. Cruz will come out of there with a big RBI base hit to get another speedster in.
Yeah, and Buck Showalter going to try and take the lead right here. Obviously, you're pulling out of the game Steve Pearce, Nelson Cruz, a big part of your offense. But right now, Buck's saying, this may be my best shot.
And it'll be foul back. So, being great theater, which baseball is, here's Delman Young going against the franchise that drafted him with an opportunity to give the Orioles the lead.
And he would like nothing more than to do just that. Inch the Orioles closer. Shave that magic number down.
Young with 2 on and only 1 out. Orioles now with 7 hits. And Young will foul that one back. So McGee will get ahead of him. 0-2. What a difference. Not even 24 hours makes. McGee comes in, strikes out the side, middle of the order, as we said last night. Here, a walk, 2 singles, and a run in against him.
The challenging part of this game. You just got to come in and, what have you done for me lately?
Young with the 0-2 count. Young will take the pitch. It'll be inside. For Delman Young on the season, as far as the lefty righty is concerned, he's gone 270 off lefties and 307 off right-handers against the quote book. close quote. There's Cruz, who got the base hit to tie it up. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. That's the third. Longoria's got it, and he's got two. Big play at second as Lowe could not get back. And a double play recorded on the line drive. And got him in plenty of time. The Orioles are going to get one run on two hits. There was an error, and one will be left on base, and we are tied. Multivitamin of MLB, and by Firestone, reminding you that whatever you drive a Firestone. Gary Thorne and Brian Anderson here. Chris Davis moves over to first base from third. Kelly Johnson, former Ray, moves in at third base. David Lowe, who pinch ran, stays in left field where Cruz had been. And Brian Mattis, the left-hander, comes on to pitch.
On for the 57th time, 3.66 earned run average in 46 2/3. We'll deal with James Loney to start this off.
Ball game tied 2-2, bottom half of the 8th inning. And the pitch will be a strike on the outside corner for Mattis. Loney in the ball game, a base hit in the third. He is walked and flied out. Left-hander, the little rock in the 0-1, goes to short, handled there by Flaherty.
Brian Mattis probably thinking to himself, how in the world does James Loney square that ball out? That's up in the zone, and he hit that hard, but right at Flaherty.
Boxberger in the bullpen. He worked last night as the setup man for McGee. Here is Will Myers. Myers has struck out, picked up an RBI single, and struck out again. Tampa Bay picking up their 2 runs in the 3rd inning, made that 2-1 lead stand up until the 8th. And the Orioles came back and tied it up. That'll be fouled back into the screen. Myers an 0-for-1 off Mattis. Brad Brock in the bullpen for the Orioles.
Well, here we go. The battle of the bullpens is underway, and there are a lot of options for both managers.
Yep. And both managers love matchups.
Yeah, yes, they do.
They love lefty righties.
They've got the arms to be able to do it. And you even for Buck Showalter and his bullpen, all of the different styles of pitchers. He's going to give you an arm angle coming from everywhere.
0-1 delivery on the way, will be up high. Remember Davey Johnson with the 86 Mets? He had a rotation where he used to love to get Bobby Ojeda in between Doc Gooden and Sid Fernandez. There you have the real speedsters, and then you throw somebody in there with the dead fish pitch, as they used to call it, from Ojeda. Kind of the same thing Buck Showalter likes to do. And a swing and a miss as Brian Mattis put one down and away in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. In this case, it's about arm angles, as Brian said. Give the hitters a different look every inning.
And think about Brian Mattis coming up over the top from the left side. You know, Zach Britton and that power sinker. Darren O'Day coming from way down under. Brad Brock, little crossfire action. I mean, the list goes on.
1-ball, 2-strike count. Mattis with a delivery, and he kept that down low, and a good stop made by Hundley, who applied the tag, a strikeout.
Smart pitching by Brian Mattis, realizing Myers and his power and his aggressiveness. The last 2 pitches he takes below the zone, and Will just not able to make the adjustment as he picks up the strikeout. Look how high this pitch is going to come from. Coming up from over the top, drive it downhill. Boy, that is pretty.
Number 5, Brandon Guyer. Brandon Guyer's announced as the pinch hitter for Joyce, and immediately Buck Showalter will come to the mound and make the pitching change to get the matchup that he wants. A good job by Brian Mattis for the Orioles as he faces 2, gets the 2 outs, including a strikeout here in the 8th inning. Comes on here to try and get the final out in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, as soon as Brandon Guyer was announced, Buck Showalter made that move, and this makes for much tougher at bat for Brandon Guyer. You're going to see Brad Brock, tall, lanky, crossfire. Not comfortable for righties.
Guyer's 1 for 2 off Brock. Nobody on. 8th inning, 2 down. Ball game tied at 2-2. And the pitch that was away somehow fouled it off the end of the bat. So Brock immediately jumps up 2 strikes.
He has that ability to sweep that breaking ball so far away from a righty that you run out of bat. You start your swing, and as that ball sweeps away, it's just not long enough.
0-2 the count. And that one will be fouled back into the screen. So Joyce came out of there for the pinch hitter. Both managers using their bench here right now, trying to manufacture or in any way get a go-ahead run. It could be decisive in the ball game. Brock ready with the 0-2 delivery, and again, reach.
Yeah. The last two swings from Brandon Guy you're holding on this at bat for dear life. Watch this defensive swing. Look at that. Across the plate, that fastball, and just, it just flipped my wrist trying to stay alive.
See if Brock tests him and goes a little further out there. 0-2 delivery on the way. Sure did. Might not swing it that way.
I'm sure that's what he had in mind, but you're absolutely correct. Maybe you should have swung at this one. Swing and start running to first right now.
Bounces it for a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Guarding the line at third, Johnson. Off the end of the bat first, though, it'll go to Davis. Brock will get over there in time, and a 1-2-3 inning for Mattis and Brock combined. We're going to go to the ninth. This ball game to be decided. 2-2. Taking Joyce's place, Brad Boxberger will come on, the setup man from last night. Last night, as we said, he came into the ball game and just took care of business. Jonathan Scope ended up being a strikeout victim in the ball game. Load get down swinging, and now he and McGee have reversed roles from last night.
Well, Brad Boxberger is so adept at missing bats, as you see right there with the 94 strikeouts.
So we go to the ninth inning, ball game tied at 2-2. Nick Hundley with a base hit last time up that missed being a home run by a matter of a couple of inches. He's had 2 singles in the ball game and has struck out.
A big swing right there in the 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Those 94 strikeouts are in 60 innings. Over 14 per 9 coming out of the bullpen. And he does it with 2 pitches. Mid-90s fastball and an 80-mile-an-hour changeup.
That'll break your heart.
Well, it's the difference. It's the difference in speed, and yes, it will. It will do a lot more than that.
A 2-ball, 1 strikeout infield shift on against the right-hander Huntley, playing him to pull. Outfield straight away. Ball foul back. Boxberger with that strikeout number Ryan's talking about. He is first in the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings and third in the major leagues in that department. He's got the 4th lowest opponent batting average against, 153. Left-handers hitting 106. Yikes. Inside corner strike.
Just nothing you can do with that pitch. 94 miles an hour. Look where it's put. Right there on the corner, or maybe just off. A very close pitch. And Hundley gets rung up.
So Ryan Flaherty, the left-handed hitter, says, good for me. I get to face Boxberger. He's headed to a fielder's choice. He has struck out and he has drawn a walk.
Are you saying that a 10.6% chance is not good?
You're in the majors. That's all that matters, right? You're at the plate in the majors. You got a chance. Doug Britton, the Oriole closer. 1-0 count on Flaherty. And a cut, and there was what Ryan was just talking about. Off-speed fastball.
You know, it's one thing if it's an 8-mile-an-hour difference, 10 mile. He'll go 14 to 15. Fastball 94, 95, changeup 79, 80. That's just too much ground to cover. So many hitters caught in between.
0-2 delivery will be put up in the air to right field. Will Myers will make the catch, and there are 2 down here in the ninth. Well, later today, MLB coverage continues as the AL Central leading Royals take on Derek Jeter and the Yankees in a game you can see only on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Kansas City writing an interesting story. If the playoffs began today, it would be the Orioles and Kansas City in the division series. But the playoffs don't begin today. Oh, we'll wait and see if how it ends up. Kansas City with that 2-game lead over the Tigers. They've won 4 in a row. The Kansas City Royals have. Jonathan Scope takes the pitch. 2 down, nobody on. Kansas City Royals, Tigers. See those records that have been put up since the All-Star break.
Talk about.
The Tigers are losing today in the ninth, 5-4.
Well, I mean, Kansas City getting hot at the right time, and Detroit, even with the moves that they've made.
Painful.
Yep, not playing well at all, and a flawed ball club. You get a chance to see them play.
Went up high. That's what he does. Jonathan Scope has struck out a 1-2-3 inning for Boxberger. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. A 2-2 game. As you take a look at Kelly Johnson, he has become the first player to play for all 5 American League East teams since 2012. The Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Orioles already this season in Tampa Bay before.
How about the tour that he's been on? Man. He has seen it all in this division.
Real Big Things brought to you by Pepsi. Make it a real big summer with 3 new flavors of Pepsi made with real sugar. Joe's bunt takes it. Brad Bronk working, came on to get the final out in the 8th inning. Stays on here in the bottom of the 9th. Escobar doubled. Kiermaier. Casale due up, bottom 3rd of the order. Not showing bunt there. Escobar. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Good speed. Kiermaier, the number 8 hitter, in the on-deck circle. Even with the bag at 3rd is Johnson for the Orioles. That ball is short. Backhanded, bobbled, throw, Flaherty, 1 hop, can't get him. Error will be charged on that. And the leadoff man is on in the bottom of the 9th.
Couple of chances here for the Orioles. Flaherty able to get to this ball quickly, make the throw. Now you got a chance if there is a scoop. That's a tough scoop, and in between hop, and it rattles around the glove of Chris Davis and comes free right there, right off the palm. And the Rays with the leadoff man aboard. Well, that
error
hurts.
On the throw. The Orioles are 2nd in the league in defense. 70th error they have committed this year. Tampa Bay's 5th in the league in defense. 76 errors now. They've added 1 today. All right, you manage. Kiermaier's up. You need a run. Kiermaier bunts. Almost hit it twice and fouls it back. Looking to get one. Buck Showalter hollering out. He wants the infield to play the bunt. Casale waiting on deck. And the sign's going to the catcher.
And Nick Hundley, you can see him right now out in front of home plate, relaying those signs to the infield. This play will be well defended. And just what direction Buck Showalter wants to go in.
Kiermaier has 3 sacrifices on the year. Escobar off first base. Kiermaier takes it. It will be inside. Davis charging in from 3rd as they rotate around. Davis will come in from 1st, rather. Kelly Johnson from 3rd.
You know, if you're thinking about, Kevin Kiermaier, if he bunts this properly, he wants to get it up the first base line and force Chris Davis to have to field it. And because he's a right-hander, much more difficult throw if they were going to try to get the lead runner.
1-1 delivery, squares, he bunts back to the mound. Brock looking to 2nd, goes to 1st, and will get the out, but not by much. Jonathan Scope coming over to cover.
Well, Kevin Kiermaier gets out of the box as well as anybody in baseball. That's why that play was so close. You see right here, it was also close because Brad Brock is thinking about getting greedy here, maybe trying to get Escobar. If he gets it before that 2nd bounce, he's got a shot. That's what he was looking at, opted to go to 1st, and it was that close. Boy, oh boy. See,
watch the catcher, Hundley.
Yep. A little change in plans.
Yes. Get the out. Potential game winner at 2nd base. 1 for 4 runners in scoring position for the Rays today. Kurt Casale, the base hit came in the 4th inning, a single. He has struck out twice. Rays with a chance to win the ball game right here in the bottom of the 9th. Big secondary lead for Escobar at 2nd base. Pitch will miss. Inside, 1-1. Playoff type of ball game going on here in this one.
For most people.
He'll be catching tomorrow. He caught last night.
Taking it all in.
1-1 delivery on the way. Ball hit up in the air, right center field. Jones and Markakis again. Adam Jones, runner tags. Throw will come in, and it is cut off. Escobar goes over to third base, but there are 2 down.
Now that ball deep enough by Casale to get the runner over to third. Do you even pitch to Ben Zobrist?
No.
I am in agreement. Seeing the ball very well, you take your, listen, his run means nothing. It's all about the runner at third and the next couple of hitters. Who gives you the best matchup? You also got to take into consideration who might be coming off the bench.
And here is the intentional pass. Will be given to Zobrist with a runner on at third base and 2 down. Great respect.
Yep.
Shown right here. Third intentional pass Zobrist has had this season.
And when you look what is available to Joe Maddon off the bench, it's all from the right side. So forget that against Brock. Do you like him on DeJesus or Evan Longoria?
Low delivery. So for the first time in his career, Zobrist has a 4-walk day. 3 of them were unintentional, and 1 of them's intentional. Runners on at first and third. Saw Andrew Miller in the bullpen for the Orioles. He's been bothered by a left leg problem. We asked Buck Showalter about that before the game today. Said no, he's available. And not only is he available, he's in the game.
That's right.
So bottom of the 9th inning, tie game. First and third, there are 2 down. Hannigan coming out to hit. Do you ever think you were in charge, the world would be a better place? No. Well, this September, Fox is giving 15 people the chance to prove it by building their ideal society from scratch. Utopia! Witness the birth of a brave new world tomorrow at 7 Central on Fox.
You don't think you could get that done?
No.
Utopia, you're glad they didn't ask you.
Don't come to me. All right, here's Miller, left-hander, Hannigan. Runner goes to second. Defensive indifference on that one, putting Zobrist down there. The one that matters is at third. Hannigan is pinch hitting. He's hit 125 off left-handers, 253 off righties.
And this is not an easy left-hander to face. Andrew Miller, fastball slider coming from 6'7". Great stuff, and done a nice job for Baltimore.
2 down, the D stays back. Miller's delivery gets away, and Tampa Bay will win it. 3-2 the Rays. Miller had not pitched for a while, and it takes a few tosses on the mound to get back into the rhythm. Now, that ball probably should have been caught by Hundley.
Yep, absolutely. That ball is just up and away a little bit, and Nick Hundley has got to come up with this. What a tough way to lose a ball game. A terrible way to lose a ball game. Well, you want the opposition to earn it, not on something like that.
So a pass ball results in the winning run scoring as Escobar, who reached on an error, gets an unearned run in addition to everything else.
I'll tell you what, you look at the replay, and that pitch was even more catchable than you originally thought. That was right there, and you could see the Rays bench anticipating a victory and it being confirmed. Wow.
So the Rays have won the first 2 games, 3-0 last night, and a 1-run win here.
And this pitch is not high. It's just a little bit wide. Hundley goes high, and it's off the thumb of the glove. Once it gets back there, that ball game, foregone conclusion.
Boxberger will be the winning pitcher. Brad Brock will take the loss in this game. And let's go down to Ken Rosenthal. Kenny.
Thanks, Gary. Evan, odd way to win a game, obviously. When Miller came in, what did you expect?
Something hard. You know, he's been tough on us all year, and so I'm just watching from on deck, hoping that Hanny puts together a good at-bat and squares something up there.
Now, Drew Smyly, you faced him quite a bit in Detroit. Now he's pitching for your team. What do you see different at all in the way he's going about it?
He's aggressive, man. He throws strikes, and we were talking about it earlier, how we love playing behind him because every time he goes out, it's just he gets the ball and goes, and all of his pitches are for strikes, and it's been fun to watch.
Now, you beat the Orioles 2 games in a row here. How satisfying is it, even though you're not in the race, to do kind of a spoiler kind of deal?
I think we're kind of looking at it more as a morale thing for us. You know, we're trying to go out and end the season on a good note, and if it has to be at the expense of them or whoever else, I don't think that's really the goal coming into the game. It's just to win and really finish the season on a good note.
Evan, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Gary, back to you.
Longoria, their leader, and that's going to do it here at the Trop. Join us later today. Fox will have an epic early season showdown. It will be college football. 7th-ranked Michigan State Spartans take on the 3rd-ranked Oregon Ducks. Coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. For more information on today's game, latest in Major League Baseball news, log in to foxsports.com on MSN, the world's favorite sports site. Big celebration. They win it. For Brian Anderson, Ken Rosenthal, and all of our crew here in St. Petersburg, Florida, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Adieu.